A flashy Ferrari rolls right onto the school campus, instantly turning heads. And the lucky guy behind the wheel? None other than Shen Yuan himself. Cameras flash. A true baddie steps out. The surrounding guys immediately start groaning and complaining out loud. A freshman dating the second-year goddess? One guy pushes up his glasses, his eyes shaking with pure jealousy, muttering that life is incredibly easy when you are born rich. You just pick whoever you want. But his buddy beside him completely and quickly disagrees. Shen Yuan is not just taking his pick. He claims absolutely everyone. Even the first-year girls are completely falling for him. Our guy struts right beside his date. Watch this. She walks with absolute confidence, standing tall and proud. The surrounding girls glare with heavy envy, already plotting new ways to steal him back. Fixing her lipstick, one girl whispers, "Never give up. We must create an opportunity." Meanwhile, our confident campus king is living perfectly happy, but his lavish lifestyle is about to crash. The moment he hits university, the endless party abruptly ends. His family ran 3 massive travel agencies. They just went completely bankrupt. Worse than that, they are suddenly drowning in heavy debt. Shen Yuan hits his dorm, calling up his old buddies for a few rounds of games. Instead, they tell him to get lost. Hanging out is completely boring if he cannot pay for everything. Staring at his screen, it hits him. The second his bank account hit zero, his so-called friends dropped him entirely. And the absolute worst part? His parents and sister are crammed into a tiny rundown apartment, forcing him into campus housing. All his previous freedom, completely gone. He thinks rock bottom has arrived until the next shoe drops. He walks up to a girl leaning casually against a wall. This is his current girlfriend, Jo Wanqing. She does not waste a single second dropping the hammer. It is over. She coldly hopes he finds someone better suited for him down the line. Completely blindsided, Shen Yuan stammers. They have been together for 3 whole years. How can she just toss him aside so easily? Is she completely heartless? But Jo Wanqing shows zero mercy. They were never running on true love, she snaps. And if they ever cross paths again, he is forbidden from calling her Qing. She absolutely despises that pet name now. She already has 1 foot stepping out the front door. He needs to permanently lose her number. Surprisingly, Shen Yuan just exhales and drops his shoulders. As she grabs the handle of an arriving car, he steps right up. "What now?" she asks, visibly annoyed. He simply requests she give back every single expensive designer bag he bought her. That instantly sets her off. After 3 long years together, she yells, the absolute least she deserves is keeping his leftover gifts. Unfazed by her screaming, Shen Yuan casually offers a trade. Want to keep the bags? They can go for one last intimate ride. Furious, she screams at him to go straight to hell. Suddenly, the driver rolls down the window, calls her Qing, and tells her to hop in. The guy shoots Shen Yuan a mocking look. Then, he actually offers the newly dumped ex a ride. Shen Yuan catches the heavy irony immediately. He says Qing, and she completely loses her mind. This rich guy says it, total silence. Still, Shen Yuan smoothly waves the offer off. His dorm is close by. But the smug driver insists, claiming he is not rushing. If Shen Yuan desperately needs a lift back to his dorm, he just has to ask nicely. He just wants to ensure the guy gets home safely. Shen Yuan knows exactly what this jerk is doing right now, a free humiliation session. Leaning against the window, Shen Yuan flashes a polite smile. He calls him a good guy, but firmly declines the ride. His place is only a few steps away. He actually opens the car door for Jo Wanqing, casually telling the driver to take excellent care of her. She truly is a wonderful girl. The guy behind the wheel flashes a very cocky smirk. Do not worry, she is in great hands. Shen Yuan gives a slow nod. He appreciates that. Real men definitely need to give their absolute best to their women, which is why the driver should probably know her absolute favorite condoms are always the mint-flavored ones. Oh, and another thing. Skip the fancy lingerie. Way too itchy. If you want to impress her, stick to the doctor and police officer roleplay outfits. Boom! He casually drops her most intimate secrets, making the rich guy look like an absolute clown. The driver is clearly furious about this free anatomy lesson. He slams the door hard and speeds off into the night, leaving Shen Yuan standing there, chuckling quietly to himself. The guy clearly lacked appreciation for some friendly advice. Honestly, he really does hope Jo Wanqing thrives out there. She made the choice that worked for her. Their paths are officially severed, and he genuinely wishes her nothing but a flawless life. You have to respect that ice-cold energy. Not only did he brush off a brutal breakup, he absolutely roasted both of them before walking away smiling. Then, a glowing system panel suddenly appears out of thin air. The screen declares that perhaps everyone deserves a chance at total perfection. Right on cue, the perfect life system begins its initial loading sequence. Shen Yuan's stats flash across the interface. Male, 21 years old, 1.82 meters tall. Honestly, why are we even reading these numbers? Skip the boring details, right? Shen Yuan just stands there completely frozen, staring at the glowing madness hovering right in front of his face. The system finally chimes in. To live the perfect life, money is not enough. He needs admiration from women. His very first mission? Drop cash on a suitable girl. She just needs an affinity score of at least 60. That earns him admiration. Plus, whatever amount he spends, the system literally pays him back multiplied by 3. If her affinity goes up during all this, he earns double. At least the basic math is pretty easy to grasp. Triple the payout for spending. If she likes him more, bam, it instantly jumps up to 6 times. He stands there nervously glancing around. Then his first target appears. It is the so-called trash-tier counselor. But honestly, there is nothing trash about this woman. She is absolute top tier. She looks impressed, calling Shen Yuan a real man. A guy should never suffer just because some girl dumped him. Meanwhile, our boy just stands there looking completely lost. Then he spots a glowing symbol above her head, a little heart with a 65 inside it. Her current affinity score. Suddenly, he actually starts believing this crazy system might be real. The counselor gently tells him to cheer up and brush off the breakup. Feeling kinda awkward, he thanks her. Deep down, he knows he just found a massive advantage. She mentions that he applied for a scholarship recently, right? The guy is completely broke, after all. She figures it should be approved soon. But he is already trusting this system way too much. He immediately tells her to just forget about the scholarship entirely. Honestly, it would not even make a dent considering the massive size of his family debt. Our counselor queen warmly tells him to come find her if he ever needs help again. She even offers romantic advice. She waves goodbye and walks off. Shen Yuan is just standing there thinking. She hits every single system requirement perfectly. So in theory, his cash should triple. Time to test this crazy logic out. He quickly reaches out and grabs her hand. He thanks her for the encouraging words and nervously asks her out for some bubble tea. Just like that, the man is already investing. She looks a bit shy, but definitely happy. Shen Yuan instantly starts running the math in his head. He only had 87. Damn, this guy is seriously broke. Barely $15 total. If it tripled, it should jump to 99. And that is exactly what happens. His mind starts racing. If he just keeps spending on her over and over, the money will endlessly multiply. This was the golden ticket he desperately needed. A chance to pay off the family debts and escape this completely miserable life. Time to go back to his old rich self, or maybe someone even better. The only problem? Multiplying 99 bucks gets him nowhere fast. Now, pay attention, because his plan gets completely unhinged here. He needs serious capital and the right girl. And this absolute madman, he already hit up the local loan sharks, borrowed from multiple banks, and somehow scraped together $49,000. He risks getting murdered and ruining his credit forever, but it is all or nothing right now. The main issue is being careful with the gift. He is about to buy something for Lu. She knows he is broke, so she might just refuse it entirely. 1 hour passes. He drops almost all his cash on a Prada bag. His genius plan? Tell her it is a cheap knockoff so she feels okay taking it. The real problem is he stands outside her door knocking, having no clue if this woman is even married. The queen herself answers the door, clearly right in the middle of cooking. She looks surprised, wondering why this lunatic is visiting. He immediately lays it on thick, telling her how she always took such good care of him since he started school. Now that he understands how precious her support actually is, he decided to bring over a little gift. Lu immediately notices how expensive the bag looks and refuses to take it. She gently reminds him that supporting students is simply her job. He really does not need to do this. But our smooth liar quickly reassures her, insisting there is nothing to worry about here. It is just a fake knockoff that only costs 200, he claims. He just wants her to accept it as a small token of appreciation. She hesitates for a second, feeling a bit guilty. Refusing such a simple gift would be way too rude, so she finally accepts. But she insists she will return the favor on his birthday. Suddenly, thick smoke starts pouring from the kitchen and she bolts inside. And this madman does not waste a single second. He just strolls right in. Technically, she did invite him, right? Well, he was already inside. As long as she has no boyfriend and he avoids getting murdered by loan sharks, everything is totally fine. Besides, it is finally time to start rolling in that sweet system cash. Just like that, the spending registers as successful. His balance instantly jumps to 120,000. Even after paying off the loan sharks to avoid waking up in a river, he still has 80,000 left over. Being a former millionaire, he is pretty used to holding this kind of cash. But climbing up from absolute rock bottom makes it feel entirely different. Then Lu calls out to him. Why is he just staring at his phone? She tells him to grab a seat already. Shen Yuan, though, he really just wants to know where her boyfriend is hiding. Still cooking, she casually drops that she does not even have a boyfriend. Wait, what? Shen Yuan instantly moves in to help take her apron off. Damn, this dude is attacking. Unfortunately, that apron is completely tangled up and taking a ridiculous amount of effort to untie. And then right out of nowhere, another queen bursts into the house. She demands to know what the hell this bastard thinks he is doing. She is the counselor's sister, Li Meng. And the scene she just walked in on is definitely peculiar, to say the least. While Li Xia tells her to come eat, our boy quickly chimes in. He awkwardly insists he is not doing anything wrong. Just like that, she rushes over, hugs her sister, and introduces herself. Another queen has officially arrived. Feeling a little awkward, Shen Yuan gives a small wave, but Meng shuts it down, bluntly stating she does not feel comfortable with him inside the house. To avoid any unnecessary drama, Shen Yuan decides to just head out. Suddenly, his appetite is completely gone. Li Xia finds the whole thing weird since he was literally just about to sit down. Her sister warns her to stay away, claiming this guy is a creep. The counselor insists he is just a student, so there is no way he would try anything shady. But her sister is absolutely certain that Bastard was up to something highly suspicious. Meanwhile, out on the streets, Shen Yuan's biggest problem is figuring out who to spend money on next. It is pretty hard to invest heavily in Li Xia when they lack any real relationship. Suddenly, someone bumps right into him. Looking to the side, he sees a guy with shaking hands. Shen Yuan immediately asks Wang Hebo what exactly happened. He says his absolute goddess, Fang Minhui, just went to the movies with some guy named Jiang Ping. Our protagonist is honestly a little confused. He knows for a fact that this specific guy has never been involved with Minhui. After all, she is the ultimate class goddess and would never actually get with him. His buddy tells him to respect the deep pain of losing a goddess like that. Then our boy just glances to the side. Check this out. The artist of this story is an absolute genius because suddenly two total baddies show up on screen. The blonde and the dark-haired girl, that is Minhui, the so-called goddess. Turns out Hebo was entirely right. And now his friend is completely thrilled since she is already back. Looks like she avoided going to a hotel with Jiang Ping. Shen Yuan realizes his buddy is completely destroying his own dignity, meaning he will never stand a chance. Then something pretty surprising happens. Right above Minhui's head, a glowing 72 appears, and she is just standing there, rocking toned abs. Her friend casually asks if she knows that Shen Yuan just got dumped. As soon as she hears the news, her memory sparks. Man, this Minhui girl actually used to simp hard for our boy. She would buy him water, juice, and literally anything else just trying to get a little bit closer. The artist is a total legend here. Our cameraman is the absolute king of angles. Meanwhile, Minhui's friend, she absolutely hates Shen Yuan. She claims he was terrible when rich and arrogant, but now that he is poor and arrogant, he is somehow worse. From a distance, our boy simply watches as those tiny little hearts above Minhui's head start dropping. He desperately needs someone to spend money on, so saving those hearts is top priority. Right away, he turns and asks his buddy if he would be sad if he dated Minhui. But his friend just laughs out loud and tells him to stop dreaming. He is no longer the rich guy rolling around in a 4 Series BMW. Still, as long as Minhui avoids dating Jiang Ping, Hebo is perfectly happy. The exact moment Shen Yuan hears that, he dashes straight toward Minhui. He casually walks up and addresses her as Comrade Minhui. Man, she is tall. Instantly, her friend steps up like a human shield. Seriously, what is this? American football? She aggressively demands to know why Shen Yuan is even here, but our boy cuts straight to the point. He smoothly asks Minhui if she is free tomorrow to grab some expensive sushi together. She blushes hard, completely confused about why this guy is suddenly asking her out. Her friend, however, already knows the deal. He is inviting her to Xing Sushi. Man, that name is basically a tongue twister. It is a spot where the bill never drops below 1,000. Shen Yuan is a pretty sneaky guy. He quickly explains that he actually needs her help picking out a gift for his younger sister. He trusts her good taste since she always gave him nice presents before. Ah, the bastard is a total genius. With that move, he just walks off, casually throwing out a "see you tomorrow." Minhei feels a bit unsure since she just went out with Jiang Ping, but her friend insists she absolutely cannot refuse. She just got invited to Xing Sushi, or whatever it is called. The point is free sushi. This friend just did a full 360. Now she admits Shen Yuan might be arrogant, but at least he is incredibly hot. Jiang Ping might have family money, but he's ugly as hell. So, she firmly tells Minhui to just go for it. She has absolutely nothing to lose by eating free sushi, and just like that, we hit the fast forward button. The new couple arrives at the restaurant and all the super fancy dishes start arriving. And of course, the artist freezes frame exactly at the moment when Minhui is about to sit down for completely unknown reasons. Meanwhile, she also found out that Shen Yuan's family is currently struggling financially. She tells him he should not be spending money like this on her. Sitting down or about to sit, who knows? The artist is basically unstoppable. But right on screen, it is our boy's inner thoughts appearing. He realizes it has only been 2 months since she last gave him gifts. Now he is feeling pretty awkward about it. Then Minhui asks, why did he suddenly invite her to dinner? And what is this about buying a present for his sister? He replies he has always wanted to take her out. He just never found the right time. Man, her affinity hearts start dropping fast. He realizes that is totally the wrong answer, genuinely confused. Then he quickly adds he still remembers how she always used to buy things for him, how she loved chatting with him on WhatsApp late at night. Hearing that he remembers all that, her affinity hearts start rising again. This system makes life way too easy. Total cheat code. Shen Yuan stays completely calm as 40 minutes pass. He is already paying up. Even with a discount, the total hits 2,700. Seeing him just drop that kind of cash, Minhui is absolutely stunned. When she went out with Shangping, the actual rich guy, he was cheap as hell. Meanwhile, supposedly poor Shen Yuan is spending everything. And since her affinity jumped from 72 up to 76, he is getting a massive bonus reward. He is about to make over 10,000 from one meal, absolutely insane. Meanwhile, Minhui is thinking. The more she looks at this guy, the more she likes him. She grabs his hand. Time for us to go shopping, she says. As they arrive at the mall, classic face-slapping setup right here. He runs into his ex with a new loser, and she looks absolutely furious, wondering how the hell the guy she dumped yesterday is already walking around with someone new. Meanwhile, the old man is even more pissed off. He had to spend a total fortune just to win this girl wanting over. And yet, that broke kid is already with another girl the very next day. Shen Yuan invites Minhui to help pick out gifts, and right then, the old guy calls out, saying what a coincidence it is to see them here, suggesting they walk together. On the other hand, Wanting is furious. She demands to know what he is doing here and who that girl is, barely even caring. Shen Yuan says he is just buying gifts for his sister. The old man tries humiliating him, pointing out this luxury mall offers no discounts. Wanting walks up to Minhui, better wake up and not get fooled by him. Shen Yuan steps right in. What the hell is she talking about? When did he ever fool her? She just turns away. The old man sneers Shen Yuan is embarrassing himself. A bankrupt family, and he is, still pretending he has cash for this place. Our boy's getting really pissed off. At this point, he wants these two to just drop dead already. Then the system chimes in. Someone living a perfect life should never be humiliated like this. He needs to spend money to raise affinity with someone who likes him, and simultaneously crush the affinity of those who despise him. For every 5 hatred points he manages to generate, his money will straight up double. Shen Yuan was thinking about being the bigger person and avoiding a public scene, but apparently the system refuses to allow it. So he just tells Minhui it is time to move. Turns out he is famous at this mall. Women are already whispering, the former rich boy is back. Minhui seems really hesitant. After all, everyone knows he is completely broke and cannot buy a thing. But another saleswoman rushes right over, waving him in. Wanting is hinting for the old man to buy her that handbag. The clerk assigned to Shen Yuan looks totally pissed off. She only wants wealthy clients, tossing the broke ones to the rookies. Wanting is already at the register, making the old guy pay for everything. Minhui helps our boy pick a handbag that perfectly matches his sister's youthful energy. The saleswoman next to him barely cares, simply warning him that it is quite expensive. It is over 50,000. While the old guy stands there seething at Wanting, his budget for her today was only 20,000. But these bags alone are already crossing 100,000. However, this girl plays a total double game. She tells him to show off his wealth and humiliate Shen Yuan by dropping a ton of cash right now. The only problem is, that is way more money than he actually has. His card cannot handle it. Right then, Shen Yuan speaks up, telling the clerk he wants both bags Minhui picked out, plus all the accessories. The clown couple slowly turns around in shock, and Minhui is completely stunned. He is really dropping that much cash. The clerk knows he is the newly bankrupt guy and is positive he cannot afford it. She starts calculating the total, her hands literally shaking, too afraid to even say the final number. Before she can speak, Shen Yuan hands over his card. Just ring it up. The saleswoman is absolutely thrilled. This commission is going to be massive. Meanwhile, Wanting stands there fuming, wondering how the hell this guy is not bankrupt. The old man mutters he must have borrowed cash, but our Giga Chad just smirks, telling him point blank, "Do not focus too much on my purchases. You should worry about making Wanting happy instead, maybe even buy her another handbag. A wealthy, powerful guy like him should be generous. He should spend at least 700,000 in here. Otherwise, it looks sad." He completely flipped the script. Now those two are shaking. Wing turns to the older guy, "Show me your financial power." The only problem here, that guy took out a massive loan just to rent that luxury car. He definitely does not have that kind of cash. so he's already on the phone trying to scrape enough together. Obviously, he just walks off pretending he has some super important meeting to attend. She just glares at him, calls him the absolute worst, and storms off. Both of them leave completely furious. Shen Yuan, though, he could not care less. He only played along because the system told him to, and hey, free money is always good. Then he hands one of the designer bags to Minhee. She refuses right away, saying it is way too expensive, but he insists it is a reward for dealing with all that absolute nonsense. Wanting and that clown dragged her into a mess she had zero part in. Right after that, he hands her a second bag. He tells her she deserves even more than this. She gets a little confused, though. She thought he bought that for his sister. But smooth as always, he brushes it off, saying now that he really thinks about it, his sister might not even like the style. You picked it out, so I know you like it. But watch closely here now that he fully unlocked this revenge system. He just wants to blow as much cash as possible and rake all the money back in. Minhee, however, is genuinely afraid to accept. She definitely does not want to look like a gold digger. She starts pushing it back, insisting she really cannot take it. But he grabs her hands, telling her not to worry. This is barely the start. He says more gifts are coming, and if she refuses this one, he is going to be seriously hurt. Just like that, the mission is totally complete, and he gets 3 times what he originally spent. Meanwhile, Minhee just stares at him, probably thinking she just stumbled on the ultimate money tree. To keep her from freaking out entirely, he says it is time to head back to campus. Buying anything else today would push it way too far. She just stands there, totally silent, staring. As he climbs the stairs to his dorm, he passes by his old fake friends. They are already loudly planning some party. The second they spot Shen Yuan, they loudly declare they will crank the volume up just so he can hear exactly how much fun they are having. He just stands there alone by his door. As soon as he steps inside the room, his friend drops some news. Apparently, that jerk went out with the absolute star of the school, and now he is bragging about it to literally everyone. Shen Yuan simply tells him to calm down. That guy has his days numbered anyway. Minhee is going to end up with him, definitely not that loser. His friend tells him to wake up to reality. Minhee and that guy literally just went to the movies together. Our guy does not even bother explaining the real situation. Instead, he decides it is probably time to head back home and help out his family. Back at the house, the infamous money-grubbing uncle is already waiting. Of course, it is Yad giving him a totally fake welcome. Shen Yuan gives him a super dry greeting. His father steps in, telling him to rest up while the adults handle all the serious business. Naturally, he stays glued to the door, listening to every single word. Yad loudly claims he needs the full payment right now or he will not survive. Wait a second. That is his mother? Man, this artist is completely unstoppable. They spare absolutely no one. She fires back at Yod, reminding him that they funded his entire car wash business when he was desperate. So coming over here and acting like this is completely messed up. Her husband tries calming things down, but she refuses to budge. She yells that they saved him during his hardest times. Yod smirks, claiming he is already being super patient just because they are blood. If it were anyone else, he would have kicked them out by now. His mother entirely loses her mind. She goes completely off on him until someone grabs her arm, gently telling her to calm down. Getting angry will only make this worse. Besides, they would figure out a way to get the money somehow. Right on cue, the system kicks in. A perfect life cannot tolerate debt. Any cash spent paying off his father's debts will get doubled instantly. Plus, he gets a massive 1 million bonus just to buy a car. For Shen Yuan, this setup is absolutely perfect. He was already planning to use his recent earnings to clear this mess anyway. Meanwhile, his mother clutches some old jewelry, precious family heirlooms passed down for generations. It is her only way to settle the debt. What she does not realize, though, Shen Yuan actually sold some of those exact jewels ages ago just to buy cheap presents for girls. Right then, he swings his door open. He tells them there is zero need to worry, he already has the cash. Neither of his parents believes a word. They tell him to stop joking around. This situation is way too serious for him to be playing games. But our guy insists he is totally serious. He tells his father to just go check his phone notifications. The second they look, they see it. 200,000 just dropped right into the account. Shocked, they demand to know where it came from. Smooth as ever, he lies through his teeth, claiming he bought some cryptocurrency a long time ago and completely forgot about it. But recently, when he needed cash, he checked and saw the value skyrocketed. His mother showers him with praise, calling it an absolute miracle. He completely saved the family, and just like that, they spin right around to the uncle telling him the debt is fully paid off. They have the money now, so he better make himself scarce. The uncle tries to argue, but his mother just points and screams, "Get out!" Kicked out and completely lost. The guy just came to collect whatever was left of this family. He knew they were bankrupt and figured he would never get paid. The real question now is how that bastard got so much money. Meanwhile, our boy just finished his mission. That 200,000 doubled. Plus, he received a cool million strictly meant for buying a car. The only problem here, the only thing he actually paid off was the rent. There were still all those old company debts totaling hundreds of millions. For now, this was simply the best way to help. He needed to keep multiplying his cash to clear those bigger debts. He asks if his parents need any more help. His mom says no. The other bills are not urgent right now. They could manage, but his father is definitely not so chill. He asks for at least 50,000 as a loan. Our boy just smiles, thinking the old man sounds exactly like him begging for cash. He remembers his dad chilling in the mansion with a newspaper, while he would come home exhausted from school just begging for spare change. Oh, how the tables have turned. The scene shifts back to college, where Shen Yuan bumps into his teacher. Everyone always pays extra attention in her class. He walks up and asks if she's free tonight. He wants to take her out to dinner. But then he feels an absolute death stare from behind. Yep, Mang is right there. She is absolutely not letting this slide. He realizes this woman is his true nemesis. Seeing her glaring with her hands on her hips, he decides to drop it. He waves goodbye, making up a quick excuse about needing to study before running off. Mang turns to Xiao and points out his obvious bad intentions, reminding her she is his teacher. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan is sweating like crazy. Running around all day and acting so submissive is just brutal. Terrible. Back in the day, he was riding around in his Ferrari and handling major business deals. Then it hits him. He got 1 million meant exclusively for a car. He immediately calls Manhua to join him on this shopping trip. Her friend immediately chimes in if they are heading back for a private adventure. She needs a heads up so she can leave. This friend really makes life so much easier for our boy. Absolute legend. Manhua shuts that nonsense down, saying they are not together. But her friend insists she is insanely lucky to find a guy like him. She already knows exactly what is going to happen between them. And by the way, those visual sensors are definitely not my doing. That is just how the raw source material came. The artist is crazy talented, but the platform definitely limits his creative expression. Now, our boy arrives at the car dealership with Manhua, and a salesman immediately comes over to greet them. It looks like this simp actually knows Manhua and demands to know what she is doing here. She politely says hello to Mr. Kim. This guy went to her school and is constantly hitting on her. Honestly, I really cannot blame the guy. He struts up and demands to know who the loser standing next to her is. Shen Yuan casually introduces himself. Now Kim wants to know his budget. Shen Yuan says he wants to check out the M9. Pretty sure that is a high-end BMW. The salesman knows that model costs 600,000. He dreads showing it to some broke kid who clearly will not buy it. At the same time, maybe it is worth it just to stare at Mingwei. Maybe she would finally realize he is an amazing salesman, pulling in over 10 grand a month. So he leans into chat, mentioning how long it has been since they last spoke. But Minhui is cold as ice. She cuts him off, stating she has plans and really is not interested in catching up today. Before this clown can even react, Shen Yuan calls out. He asks if he can take the car for a test drive. The guy is absolutely fuming. That bastard just ruined his flirting session. Let us be real though, you were already completely rejected. Shen Yuan might have been flat broke for a little while recently, but he grew up crazy rich. He is already completely sick of this loser salesman treating him like trash. So, he walks straight to the reception desk and demands someone who actually knows how to sell cars. Honestly, looking at her crazy outfit, you would think she came prepared for a totally different job. Anyway, her name is Chenna, a top-tier salesperson here. She steps out and asks how she can help. Our boy is just standing there, completely stunned. The poor guy practically got flashbanged by her beauty. Meanwhile, the original salesman starts panicking when a coworker asks why he ditched them. He warns him about losing the sale, but Kim just shrugs, insisting there is no way that broke kid buys an M9. He is clearly just showing off for the girl. Meanwhile, inside the car, Chenna explains all the features to Shen Yuan. But our guy is not listening to a single word. Even compared to Minhui, this new girl is incredibly dangerous. The problem is, he knows some female salespeople at these dealerships will literally sleep with their customers just to hit their monthly sales targets. So, he stays completely detached. Chenna finally asks if he likes the car details, but he just tells her he really doesn't care. He just needs to know if there is one available right now, because he wants to drive it home today. She is totally confused. Most guys want to test drive like 36 different cars, wasting hours before they finally make a decision. She apologizes right now, they don't have one here, but she can easily call another dealership and bring one in this week. Shen Yuan says that is perfectly fine, just make it fast. She tells him exactly how to speed up the whole process. He just needs to leave a 50,000 deposit. He tells her not to even worry about it. And just like that, she is already walking down the hall. The clown salesman wants to know how the sale actually went, and she simply replies it was incredibly easy. He actually bought it. Another salesman overhears this and totally freaks out. Absolutely impossible. You only talked to him for 2 minutes. Meanwhile, Minhui's simp is fully convinced that guy is a complete fraud. Once it is time to actually pay, he will disappear. But Shen Na heavily disagrees. She tells them she doesn't think that is the case at all. He explicitly said he is paying everything up front. Right at that moment, the clown salesman realizes he seriously messed up. Meanwhile, Shen Na is over there already thanking our boy. She tells him if he ever needs a ride or a favor, just send a message. But Minhui gets fiercely competitive. She quickly snaps back, no, he definitely doesn't need your number. Besides, they're taking a taxi. Shen Na realizes she just angered the girlfriend and gets super awkward. Back out on the streets, Shen Yuan asks Minhui if she wants to grab something to eat. But he notices she's clearly a little annoyed, and he is pretty sure she's jealous. He tells her to let it go strictly, a customer and saleswoman relationship. Minhui fires back that she isn't so sure about that. He looked awfully happy talking about all those car details. Shen Yuan quickly apologizes. He says it is just a habit of his to pay very close attention to what people say, which is a total lie, by the way, since he didn't actually listen to a single word. And that is exactly when Minhui realizes she's acting completely crazy. She doesn't even have anything official with him yet, so there is zero reason for jealousy. But she knows his massive spender style attracts major attention, so she absolutely needs to lock him down. No idea what kind of carrot technique she will use to immobilize him, but she is highly determined. Meanwhile, our boy suggests they grab some food, and then hit the mall to buy a few expensive presents. She shakes her head, absolutely no need. He already spent a ton on her yesterday, and she really doesn't need that much stuff. But our boy plays the ultimate psychological card. He tells her she definitely cannot go out 7 days in a row carrying the exact same bags. She needs at least one for each day of the week. Plus, spending cash on her is great, it raises her affinity and literally doubles his own money. Later at the restaurant, he asks if she wants something hot or cold to drink. She freezes completely. Is this absolute bastard genuinely asking if she's on her period right now? Apparently, in a certain popular game, if a guy asks this question and she chooses hot, it means she is on her period. If she goes with cold, it means the coast is totally clear. She loudly declares she will have a cold drink. Seems like that is exactly what he wanted to know, because he decides to be much more direct. He has been holding back for 2 solid months, and it is finally time to let it all out. A short while later, walking through the busy city, he has already spent an absolute fortune. Bags, pendants, necklaces, everything. Minhui is just standing there, thinking this guy is way too nice. He has already spent 80,000 on her in just a few short days. Now watch, here's the wild part. Our boy already has 2 million sitting in his account. Because he bought that car and she liked it, he got 1.6 million right back. Now he gets straight to the point. He hints that maybe tonight isn't a great night to go back to the boring dorms. And if he is ready to play, she is totally ready to score. She just gives him a flirty little smirk. 30 minutes later, inside room 888, our boy is already hitting the shower. Meanwhile, she has absolutely no idea how to explain to her friend why she isn't coming back tonight. Shen Yuan is acting like a true American, bro. He walks right in and declares it is time for football, and he is going straight for that touchdown. 30 wild minutes pass by. This guy is an absolute demigod for lasting that long. Shen Yuan sighs, calling it a truly great match. But unfortunately, she is also a top-tier player now. He is feeling a little exhausted, but she has boundless energy for days. She loudly tells him, it is officially time to start the second half. Our boy desperately begs for a 30-minute break. Way too late. Next morning, check out that bastard's huge smile. After all the crazy spending he did, he now has 2.5 million sitting right in his account. His friend furiously demands to know where the hell he was. Why didn't he come back to the dorm last night? At the exact same time, the friend shows him how that annoying bastard just bought a new car. He is completely showing it off to everyone. Shen Yuan just shrugs it off. That guy is honestly adorable, trying to flex on people, but he seriously couldn't care less about his stupid car. Someone suddenly calls him over for some drinks, and the system unexpectedly speaks up. A truly perfect life isn't just about endless admiration from the opposite sex. He also needs to become highly successful in business. He gets 1 million to invest. But catch this, he has to spend all of it within a single week, and any profits he generates from these new business ventures will be instantly doubled. Honestly, that is insanely dope. A system with just that perk would already be amazing on its own. But alright, moving right along. Shen Yuan loves this mission. He actually wants to build a legitimate income stream. This way, he avoids blowing cash on endless gifts. He completely hates simping. Unfortunately, he just hasn't had any other choice lately. The guy treating him to drinks is named Yu Hang, clearly an old buddy. Meanwhile, over in the Dragon's private bar, this dude in a Hawaiian shirt named Lin Guan, Yu complains loudly. Who are they waiting for? He is starving. He-ji, the guy wearing a suit, tells him the VIPs are still en route. The dude in the backward cap totally agrees. That is when Yu Hang steps in. He tells everyone to chill out and wait just a bit because Shen Yuan is arriving soon. But Guan Yu just scoffs. He claims that guy has no business being here. His family went completely bankrupt. Why even show his face? Yu Hang fires back, mind your own business. He is paying for everything tonight, so Guan Yu better stay quiet. Take that, you total clown. Guan, you thinks he can talk big just because he brought a girl with factory airbags. Thank God her speech bubble is not as massive as her chest. She is already complaining that Guan Yu keeps grabbing her but refuses to actually commit. Meanwhile, the group asks about He-ji's girlfriend. He smugly claims she will be arriving in exactly 10 minutes. But Guan Yu secretly despises that bastard He-ji. The reason? His girlfriend is pure top tier. Honestly, just by checking out those tights, we all know exactly who is showing up. Shen Yuan finally arrives, deliberately wearing literal rags. Looking practically homeless, he apologizes for the delay. Yu Hang simply laughs it off, no worries. Plenty of terrible drivers out there. Guan Yu immediately throws a petty jab. Get a personal driver. Then that wouldn't happen. Right on cue, she appears. That is right, the car dealership girl, our beloved Chen Meng. She apologizes for running late, and He-ji just smirks. These clueless clowns have no idea how to compete. He might be out of cash, but he secured the best girlfriend. Too bad for He-ji, though. His girl is already checking out Shen Yuan. She remembers his face perfectly from yesterday. He bought that luxury car, after all. Still, she ignores him and walks straight to her boyfriend. At least she stays loyal. A bit later, Yu Hang explains the real reason for the gathering. He has a massive investment opportunity. He needs to raise 2.4 million. That means roughly 700,000 from each person. Awkwardly, he asks what everyone thinks about the pitch. You complete bastard. You asked for 700,000. But can you at least explain the actual plan, you damn scammer? His friends already know his track record. He constantly makes terrible investments. But since he usually burns his dad's money, nobody actually cares. This time, nobody wants to risk cash with this unhinged lunatic. Dead silence. Yu Hang is visibly pissed. Whenever he covers the lion's share, everyone wants a piece. Now that it requires equal stakes, they are all backing out. He demands to know why it is so quiet. Nobody dares to answer. Finally, Guan Yu speaks up. He isn't investing right now. He wants to focus on saving money. Playing it safe is his excuse. Soon, everyone else parrots the exact same thing. They simply cannot afford to take a loss. Taking any kind of risk right now feels way too dangerous. The guys wearing basketball jerseys in the corner look genuinely annoyed at this awful pitch. Meanwhile, Yu Hang knows the truth. This money-making plan is rock solid. Too bad nobody here trusts him. Then Guan Yu offers a slight alternative. Borrowing money is different. Of course, you massive scumbag. Because if the deal succeeds, you win big. If it crashes, you still get your money back. Damn, even I want in on that. Just kidding, I am completely broke. Shen Yuan stands there, wondering why Yu Hang even bothers dealing with these people. They are all just greedy parasites. So Shen Yuan casually asks, what exactly does he get for a 700,000 investment? The room falls silent. Guan Yu snaps at him to stop making things up. Everyone here knows his family is entirely broke. The guy in the cap even pats his shoulder, telling him to just stop. Go to the bathroom and wash your face. Man, you act drunk without touching a drop. He-ji steps in to explain that business is incredibly complicated. He is young and doesn't get it. That cash, it could vanish in an instant. While everyone in the back doubts our boy, Chen Meng quietly watches. She vividly remembers him dropping 600,000 on a car yesterday without a single hesitation. So dropping 700,000 probably isn't crazy for him at all. Still, she stays completely quiet. She barely knows the guy and refuses to get involved. Shen Yuan does not wait for a proper answer. Done. He announces he already transferred the 700,000. Yu Hang immediately checks his phone. The screen lights up bright as a stadium floodlight. There it is. A massive transaction notification. He shoves it right in Guan Yu's face. The guy's soul practically leaves his body, and his hands start trembling. Meanwhile, the towering Chen Hao demands to know why everyone's expression just dropped. Now watch, you can literally feel the panic setting in. The entire room jumps up, demanding Guan Yu explain exactly what just happened. Even E.G. is desperately curious, but Guan Yu flat out refuses to add to Shen Yuan's hype. He bitterly tells them to figure it out themselves. But deep down, he is dying to know. How the hell did that broke bastard pull out that kind of cash? Right on cue, Xiao Jiang, the guy in the cap, walks over. He notices the weird vibe in the room and asks what is happening. A second later, he's making up excuses, saying he suddenly has things to do at home. One by one, the whole group bails out. He-ji just stands there pretty confused about the sudden mass exit. Shanna tells him they are heading out too, already walking out the door. Her boyfriend complains they had absolutely no reason to leave. He argues they do not even know if Shen Yuan actually transferred the cash. That is when she drops the bomb about yesterday. The guy paid for a car in straight cash. Suddenly, Heiji gets incredibly angry, not at Shen Yuan. He yells at his own girlfriend for hiding that their target was secretly loaded. The vibe instantly flips, and she is absolutely furious. She fires right back, "You are actually mad about me hiding his money." She says goodbye on the spot. If that is all he cares about, she is fully done. Now it is just the two of them alone. Yuan sighs, admitting if he knew his partner was investing everything, he never would have called those guys. Shen Yuan shrugs it off as a perfect loyalty test. Now he just wants to hear the actual plan for this new business. He might just be the financial backer, but he expects a real strategy discussion. And yeah, they are definitely opening a bar together. They hash out the theme, daily operations, and the overall decor. An hour flies by, and Chenna suddenly shoots him a text message. She tells him to grab his car tomorrow. Shen Yuan replies there is zero rush, smoothly asking if she is free instead. He claims he is really curious about the BMD M9 model. She stares at her phone, quite confused about this random sudden interest. Before she even types a reply, he locks it in. "See you tomorrow at the restaurant." Cut to the next day. She waits at the spot in her work uniform, which honestly looks like a cosplay outfit. Shen Yuan is nowhere to be found. She stands around waiting with some random guy just awkwardly hanging nearby. Then, a chubby bald manager happens to stroll past the area. He spots her instantly and makes a direct beeline for her. He has been dying to make a move, and this looks like his golden ticket. A group of his buddies watch from outside, debating if he can actually score. Most of them are already calling a hard fail. Chenna is just not that kind of girl. She is super serious, rejecting almost everyone. And look who is standing in that crowd. Her freshly minted ex-Heiji is spying, desperate to see exactly who she is meeting. The bald guy slides up to Chenna and asks to join her. She shuts him down immediately, politely saying she is waiting for a friend. He assumes she is just playing hard to get. He pulls rank, demanding respect as her boss and insisting they are getting food together today. But she bluntly tells him to step back. They really do not need any kind of relationship outside of work. Then this absolute creep lays it all out. He promises to divorce his wife if his family is holding her back. Pure madness. She really has these guys acting wild. Meanwhile, Heiji is creeping by himself in the distance, completely separated from his friends. He catches the end of that wild conversation. Seeing this bald boss trying to steal his girl, he furiously marches right up to their table. He screams out, "You traitors have been sneaking around behind my back." Before the manager can even process it, Heiji decks him in the face. The furious boss scrambles up, kicking off an absolute brawl. Right on cue, Shen Yuan finally shows up, staring at the chaos pretty lost. But it only takes our boy a few seconds to piece the entire situation together. He sarcastically thanks the manager for keeping her company and absorbing Heiji's random attack. Without missing a beat, he just grabs Chenna by the hand. He suggests they bounce somewhere a bit more private. Once they are safely inside his car, she admits she only dated Heiji for 2 weeks, but she already figured out the guy was total trash. Shen Yuan points out that at least the drama is settled. She shakes her head though. The reality is, Heiji just publicly punched her direct supervisor right in the jaw, which means her work life is about to become a massive nightmare. Shen Yuan tells her to just quit the terrible job and move on. She explains that jumping between different dealerships is incredibly tough in her specific industry. Plus, she has spent years building a solid client list that she would lose overnight. Honestly, she is just completely burned out on the saleswoman grind anyway. Her dream is running a tiny little store, working when she feels like it and closing up early. The only catch? Setting up a basic cafe costs 400,000, and she will never save that kind of cash. But Shen Yuan suddenly sees the absolute perfect investment opportunity here. So he asks if a real investor suddenly appeared, would she be ready to launch? He still has 300,000 sitting around from his initial million. If she manages to scrape together 100,000 on her end, that would be enough to open the doors. She freezes up, admitting she would quit her job right now if that happened. He just grins. Then he tells her to resign tomorrow and come work for him. Boom, a little system heart pops up showing 64 affinity. She blushes intensely. He realizes a new money tree dropped right into his lap. Visibly flustered, she begs him to stop joking around. He stays completely serious. He lays out the final offer, work for me or not, manage the cafe for 12,000 a month, plus some solid bonuses, plus an insane incentive bonus. If the cafe succeeds for 2 straight months, he will buy her a shiny 200,000 car outright. Damn, this guy is spending all his bonuses. Smart move, honestly. She just has zero clue why anyone would invest so much cash out of nowhere, unless he wants her all to himself. But she is a strictly respectable woman. She definitely can't end up dependent on him, especially since she'd basically be the third wheel in this relationship. So she says thanks, but no thanks. Shen Yuan gets the hesitation and tells her not to worry. He already planned to drop cash on an investment anyway. Plus, they would strictly stay boss and employee. She gets it, but really needs time to think. Right then, Minhui texts him she is suddenly craving some iced tea. We all know exactly what that means. Honestly, he is just amazed this girl has literally infinite energy. He agrees to the tea date, but mentally begs her to please take it easy this time. The second he steps into room 808, she tackles him with a hug. But then she catches the scent of another woman. He immediately claims that is impossible. Deep down, though, he knows sitting in that car let the saleswoman's perfume totally stick to him. Oh man, the fun is so over. She shoves him away, but he plays dumb, lies completely, and just pulls her back in. He swears he only has eyes for her. He explains he was just signing car paperwork and ended up stuck near the sales girls. The perfume just transferred over, nothing actually happened. Minhui says she gets it. But if he ever meets another woman for any reason, he better speak up. He nods along, but honestly, our guy doesn't care at all. His goal is planting multiple money trees, especially with his massive spending needs. And just like that, the main event finally kicks off. Ball on the field and boom, direct goal. 2 whole hours later. 2 hours. He literally transcended Doctor Strange style, manipulating time and space just to last that long. Her affection rating is already hitting 90. And just like our boy Shen Yuan from the other story, this guy gets a massive system reward when affection hits 90. A 1 million lottery ticket, a 1 million spending voucher, and a brand new skill called Ruthless. That spending ticket and the Ruthless skill are huge. The cash is incredibly welcome right now, especially since he still owes millions in family debt. But that Ruthless skill is what really hooks his attention. The description claims it lets him perfectly master literally anything. He walks right out into the hallway to activate it. A very strange glow appears. He completely expected it would make him totally ruthless in combat, but actually it makes him ruthless in other activities, and now he heads straight back to the field. Ruthless mode fully activated. Poor Minhu becomes the very first victim. Meanwhile, Chen Nan tells a friend about a guy offering 300,000 for a store. Her friend immediately warns her be super careful. Guys rarely invest that much cash. You might be getting scammed, but Chen Nan fires back with total confidence. No, I know he has money. I watched him spend almost 1.5 million in just 2 days. Plus, he's actually cute, unlike those old guys at the dealership. Her friend remains pretty skeptical. Let me get this straight. You found a young, handsome guy wanting to hand you 300,000? If that is true, you absolutely have to accept it. Chen Nan sighs heavily, saying there is one problem. He is 5 years younger. It just feels weird. Apparently, there is an old saying, marry a guy 3 years younger, and you are basically holding a solid gold bar. So at 5 years younger, she gets 2 gold bars. Who invents this stuff? She still tries to refuse. The guy already has a girlfriend. But her friend, like every single female friend in these stories, is either the absolute worst or the absolute best. She tells her straight up a girlfriend isn't a wife. With his stats, you just have to steal him. Poor Chen Nan is completely shell-shocked. Her friend laughs, saying relax, just joking. But seriously, don't miss this huge opportunity. They finally say goodbye. Meanwhile, Chen Nan starts daydreaming about Shen Yuan at her window. Cut to 40 minutes later, and Minhui is visibly shaken. She mumbles that something feels totally different about him, but she's way too embarrassed to explain. So, naturally, he demands another round. She screams impossible, begging him to stop. She is completely done. But since she showed zero mercy earlier, it is officially his turn. He just smirks. If you can't keep up, you obviously need way more practice. The very next day, after Minhui finally heads back to school, Shen Yuan wakes up and double-checks his lottery ticket. The numbers actually match. He just bags 6.8 million. He leaps out of bed, totally desperate to sprint home and tell his parents. Quick side note, we still have not even met his sister yet. Wait, does he actually have one? Do not worry, she shows up eventually. I know, the guy is an absolute menace. A few moments later, he rushes straight home, screaming for his mom. She instantly snaps, stop shouting like a complete lunatic. You are going to wake up the whole neighborhood. But he just drags his dad over too, shouting that he has insane news for both of them, shoving the ticket forward. I just won 6 million. Naturally, his mom thinks school just fried his brain and asks if he is going crazy. But he just grins, look at the numbers, and check the phone yourselves. His dad checks the winning lottery numbers and practically has a heart attack. His mom straight up collapses. He tells them even after paying the 20% tax, I will still have 5 million. They can finally start clearing those debts. Life is actually looking up now. He just plans to keep a small slice for investments, since he still needs to generate some real income. His dad tells him that is totally fine. Just please do not lose it all. Shen Yuan explains his plan 1 million stays with him, and 4 million goes straight to them. He fully expected them to be screaming with joy, but they just calmly thank him. Meanwhile, back at the car dealership, that chubby boss who got completely wrecked points to his bruised face, asking Chennai what the hell this is. She just stands there in her uniform, not caring at all. She already dumped that guy anyway. Besides, if Hiji punched him, that is strictly a problem between those two. Her boss is absolutely not letting her off the hook that easily. He snaps at her, every problem has a root cause, and right now, it is you. And you already know how guys like this operate. He realizes this woman is trying to walk away, so obviously, he needs petty revenge. She fires back, insisting their little brawl has nothing to do with her. Plus, he never would have gotten punched if he had not sat right next to her. The boss smirks and tells her, fine, since you skipped work yesterday, you do not need to show up for an entire month. Totally confused, Chennai argues she literally asked for permission to be absent. He just shrugs, I do not care. I own this dealership, so I decide who actually works here. You are completely banned from selling cars for a month. He knows perfectly well that losing this job means losing her entire commission. With only 1,200 in her pocket, making rent is basically impossible. Right then, Chennai just turns around and drops a bomb. If that is the case, I quit. I am never coming back here again. The clown boss warns her to think very carefully because leaving means she is done for good, but she is already walking out the door. Absolute swag mode activated. Working for Shen Yuan has to be way better anyway. At least he is not some creepy old guy. She casually waves goodbye. Done. I am never stepping foot in this place again. 30 minutes later, Shen Yuan gets a text saying she's officially quitting. He congratulates her, took you long enough to escape that living hell. Now he just needs to lock down a good spot for the store. Next up, he is visiting his teacher, a seriously hardworking woman. She is currently struggling to lift a massive box off the floor. Damn, that looks genuinely painful. Clearly, she called him over specifically for this heavy lifting. Right now, she is stretching for another box, but it is way too high up for her to reach. Do not worry, teacher, your hero has finally arrived. Obviously, pulling a move like this could easily land a guy in jail. She realizes this student of hers is just as peculiar as always. He steps in super close. Does he actually have feelings for her? Flustered, she asks if he grabbed the papers. He nods, confirming he got them, right as a bunch of other students suddenly walk in. They cheerfully announce they are here to help out. But stepping into the room, they are totally clueless as to why her face is bright red. She quickly steps aside while Shen Yuan calmly explains the favor she actually needed. Meanwhile, Xiao realizes Shen Yuan is getting way bolder lately. He's actually pulling these moves on school grounds. The real problem? Her heart completely skipped a beat, but he is her student. She definitely cannot be thinking like this. Too bad for her, our guy has that overpowered affinity system running. He immediately notices his score going up. Guess that little favor was highly appreciated. Meanwhile, we cut to the south side right near the campus. Check out our newest local villains. That girl on the left is rocking a perfectly toxic mix of good and evil vibes. They are chatting up Jiang Ping, that exact same dude who bought a car and suddenly thinks he owns the whole world. Oh yeah, the total clown parading around in a flashy little Gucci outfit. He is fuming because Ming Hui completely shot down his every move. She is giving him the cold shoulder, but whatever. He has options. Not every girl appreciates my brand new ride, he mutters. The girls literally gasp that car is so expensive. Your family must be actual billionaires. But Jiang Ping nearly chokes on his tea when he spots a familiar face walking by. Unsurprisingly, it is Chen Nai. She is walking around looking way more like a fantasy game character than a real person. One guy even mutters that those insanely long legs belong in a magazine. Meanwhile, out on the street, everyone is staring at a brand new car, the M9. Honestly, it might not even be a BMW. It is probably some super expensive domestic luxury model or a futuristic electric ride. And right then, the big boss himself strolls into the area. The girls spot him instantly, the infamous Shen Yuan, the guy who just went completely broke. Why is he riding in that car? That is exactly what our clown Jiang Ping wants to know. Right on cue, Shen Yuan walks into the cafe, and Chen Nai immediately greets him. Hey there, boss, she says. Jiang Ping is just standing there, jaw practically on the floor. He cannot understand why this absolute goddess is talking to a broke loser. Ignoring the stares, Chen Nai tells him the cafe owner just texted her and is currently on the way. She asks if he actually likes the car. Shen Yuan shrugs, not bad. Nearby, the dangerous villain girl just smirks. Shen Yuan's little chat with that girl looks a bit suspicious and Jiang Ping is absolutely losing his mind. How exactly does this guy pull one beauty yesterday and land an even hotter girl today? Right on cue, the cafe owner steps into the scene. Honestly, she is the slimmest girl we have seen yet, not overly skinny, but you get the picture. Her name is Yuqing and she walks right up to our boy. She calls him surprisingly young, but he brushes it off. They are all basically in their 20s. She admits her business is currently tanking hard. Even with all the students walking by, it is bleeding cash. Plus, she has some family drama going on and really needs to watch her kid. So she is asking 300,000 to hand over the keys, but Shen Yuan wants to hold back 50,000 just to pay Chena's wages. No haggling. He lays out 250,000 flat, telling her to take it or walk away. Yuqing really wanted at least 270,000, but seeing his serious face and knowing it is cash up front, she caves. She asks if they can lock it in today, and he nods. Sign the papers, and the cash hits her bank immediately. She instantly calls the staff over to meet their brand new boss. Shen Yuan points to Chena and declares her the new manager in charge. He adds that he will not be visiting much. Hearing this, the nearby Hollywood tier villainess just gasps. This absolute madman just casually bought a $250,000 cafe for his girl in 10 flat seconds. Jampang is practically vibrating with sheer rage. Suddenly, Yuqing's phone rings. She stands up to take the call in private, and right at that very second, Chena spots the caller ID and completely freezes up. It is the exact same scumbag who fired her from the car dealership. The guy owns everything. What a joke. Shen Yuan is absolutely furious. That trash bag has a gorgeous wife at home but still creeps on everyone at work. Just a truly awful guy. Chena really wants to expose the husband's true colors to Yuqing, but she hates the idea of destroying a marriage. Shen Yuan strictly warns her stay out of it. She demands to know why. He spells it out. Leaving a loaded 40-year-old guy with zero family is completely dangerous. You never know what a man like that might pull. She pauses for a second and thanks him for the reality check. She honestly never considered that angle, but he is totally right. That guy could actually become a massive problem. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan wires over the 50,000 salary and tells her he is pretty excited to see how her first week plays out. And just like that, our guy officially blows his first million, hitting junior investor status. Seriously, can you imagine just leveling up your bank account like that? The system is an absolute cheat code. Right away, he unlocks $10 million just to expand his empire. The moment he burns through it all, every single profit he makes triples. And the crazy part? Emptying that $10 million fund automatically grants him a totally unknown mystery industry. A little while later, Yuqing returns to show her gratitude. She announces she is heading out. Doing business with him was an absolute pleasure. Shen Yuan shakes her hand, immediately getting distracted by how incredibly soft her skin is. Honestly, it feels like she doesn't even have bones. Naturally, his dirty mind starts imagining wild scenarios with her. Still, he keeps a straight face, telling her it was great working together. He definitely hopes to see her around again. Fast forward 30 minutes, and he's dragging Chena to a fancy restaurant. Just for dinner, surely. She nervously points out how insanely expensive this spot is, asking if he is a regular here. Shen Yuan simply shakes his head. Nope, but today is definitely worth celebrating. He catches himself just staring at her, completely captivated by her beauty. The man has zero chill. He goes straight on the offensive, asking why she is sitting so far away. He tells her to slide over. Our boy is moving fast. 1 second, she is across the table. The next, she is pressed beside him. Dude has 3-meter arms like Majin Buu. And now, his brain is working overtime. He just dropped 300,000 opening a business for this girl and gave her a huge monthly salary. He definitely expects a little extra profit from this deal. Over on Chena's side, she knows the harsh truth. Unconditional generosity simply does not exist in this brutal world. So what is his actual endgame with this cafe? Is he seriously just trying to turn a normal profit here? That makes zero sense, considering how much he throws cash around. Meanwhile, our hardworking Shen Yuan already has both hands firmly on her assets. Chena painfully realizes her body is the only thing she actually has to offer him. Still, she panics and tells him to stop. The waitresses could walk in, but he just smirks. The fancy food here takes forever to cook anyway. 10 minutes later, a staff member calls out that the food is almost ready. A deeply flustered Chena quickly yells back to just bring it inside. Shen Yuan just smirks, bragging about the amazing food here. Well, the guy has been filthy rich his entire life. He already knows all the best high-end spots in town. Chena stares at him, admitting he is insanely handsome and clearly loaded. The only problem? He is a completely shameless bastard, especially considering she knows he already has another stunning girl waiting for him. So why exactly does he act like such a dog? It is honestly pretty embarrassing, but it is way too late to back out now. At the checkout counter, Shen Yuan calmly pays up like usual. After all, the system will just double it. Meanwhile, Chena suddenly realizes the insane amount he just dropped on one single dinner equals her entire commission for selling a luxury car. Stepping outside into the night, she turns to him. She wants to head back to the cafe and talk to the owner, but Shen Yuan tells her it is way too late for that. The owner is probably closing up. You would just be bothering her. Chenna sighs, yeah, I guess you have a point. Just take me home then. Oh man, we definitely know where this is going. They pull up to her apartment complex. She waves goodbye, but our guy stops her. I am really thirsty. That walk made me crave some water. She is not naive, though. She asks him that water you want. It is entirely inappropriate. Our guy acts totally confused. What? Is there another man inside your house? She rolls her eyes. Obviously not. I broke up with Hiji. Shen Yuan nods. So what is the problem with letting me grab some water? She pauses. Are you really just going to drink water and leave right after? He nods yes, but in her mind, she already knows the actual truth. Inside that apartment, the football field is totally set up and the goal is wide open. Meanwhile, her ex Hiji is downstairs holding flowers. Oh buddy, please do not do this. You already lost. He knocks on her door, but instead of getting a response, he hears a highly peculiar sound. His expression entirely freezes. He starts banging on the door. Who the hell is inside? Inside, Shen Yuan is furious. That absolute bastard dumped her. So why is he interrupting the game now? Chenna nervously tells him, wait, someone is at the door. But Shen Yuan smirks. I have very good ears, and that is just the neighbor. And just like that, he carries her right away. Meanwhile, on the other side, Hiji is entirely devastated. He heard everything. He collapses straight to the floor. She was completely devoured. I have absolutely zero chance anymore. After a few more intense matches, morning finally arrives. Chenna wakes up first and heads into the kitchen to start cooking. What a genuinely kind woman. Shen Yuan wakes up to that delicious smell. Waking up in a real home is just so much better than waking up in some cold hotel. And right then, the system speaks. A perfect life absolutely requires a home. If a man wants to take care of himself and any visiting women, he simply must own property. This crazy system is honestly even thirstier than he is. He must buy a 100 square meter home for Chenna within 24 hours. The fantastic news here, every single dollar he spends gets doubled, plus he will receive a mystery property as a bonus. For him, this setup is absolutely perfect. Now he wants a massive house with a pool, keeping everyone swimming while he just kicks back. Chenna calls him over for some breakfast. But our guy is already wondering what insane reward will drop when she finally hits 90 affinity. So he gives her a tight hug. She jumps in surprise. Then he whispers, as a gift for last night, I will buy you a house. She completely freezes. She thought that after everything last night, he would not be buying her anything else. She assumed he got exactly what he wanted. He kisses her cheek. What is wrong? Why are you not responding? She sighs heavily. Money does not grow on trees, you know, but for our guy, it actually kind of does. His wealth literally spawns from nowhere. He pulls her in for a very tight hug. There is absolutely nothing wrong with buying a home for my woman. Plus, he is slightly worried. Last night got way too noisy. The surrounding neighbors definitely heard them, so they really need to move. Chenna then tells him about a friend wanting to meet at the cafe. She wants to see the spot, and after that, we can go house hunting. But Shen Yuan shakes his head, absolutely no way. House shopping takes time. There is endless paperwork and everything. I do not want to spend the entire day looking around. So, she immediately messages her friend, saying she will just see her tonight instead. Meanwhile, her friend Kenshin is rocking a bright red cap. She is hanging with Mangalu, a very tall, purple-haired fitness trainer. Mangalu looks totally confused. Kenshin suggests maybe the cafe deal fell through. No way, a guy just drops $300,000 like that. But Mangalu strongly disagrees. Chenna would never lie about something like that. Right then, Kenshin gets a new message. She reads the text out loud and absolutely screams he is buying her a house. In the rearview mirror, Mangalu practically faints. There is a massive difference between a guy who buys designer bags and a guy who buys entire houses. She immediately decides, I need to exploit this. She urges Kenshin to ask where exactly they are house hunting. We should definitely go check it out. Kenshin nods, all right, I will ask her. 40 minutes later, they arrive right at the exclusive TNG real estate district. As soon as they pull up, Chenna is totally shell-shocked. Even the most basic homes here cost absolute millions. And just like that, Kenshin spots the couple. She quickly walks right up. It has been way too long since we last met. She reaches out a hand, saying how much she missed her. And now, the girls prepare for introductions. Kenshin grins widely. This is my very good friend, Chenna. Then she points over meet Mangalu and Ruta. Mangalu, meanwhile, poses like an absolute contortionist, twisting around like she is in Game of Thrones, bending up and down, throwing her hair over her shoulder. And then, she goes straight in for the attack. You have a really good body, but you should come down to my gym and sweat a little. Super peculiar approach, but our guy is honestly even worse than her. He simply smirks. If I go to your gym, it will be quite hard to focus on the actual workout. She instantly realizes he just flirted right in front of Chenna, which pretty much guarantees these two are not an official couple. Meanwhile, she spots Chenna having a bruised knee. Definitely played way too much football last night. Then Kenshin jumps right in telling him whenever he is ready to swap cars, she knows a great place to buy Ferraris. Our boy just smiles and thanks her. He barely knows these two, yet their affection levels are already sitting at 68 and 67. Right then, he realizes these girls are not exactly the best friends to Chenna. But honestly, for him, that does not matter at all. All he really wants is a solid group of women rocking an affinity score over 60. The three girls stroll with him right through the luxury real estate district, and every poor husband watching wants to absolutely murder this guy. He is just walking around with three total goddesses, buying a house like it is nothing. This right here is the perfect life. A real estate agent walks over, asking if he would like to check out some initial models. The going rate is 15,000 per square meter. She tries to explain further, but our boy just cuts her off saying he came here to drop 3 million flat. So he asks her what that kind of cash actually buys. The woman just nods and guides him straight into the VIP section. This exclusive area offers professional recommendations. Meanwhile, the other girls are completely stunned. What kind of absolute billionaire just drops 3 million like it is loose pocket change? And naturally, this flex just makes Menglu even more determined. A little later, they are relaxing on a luxury couch. The agent recommends a 165 square meter home for a cool 2.9 million. Chenna tightly grabs his arm, telling him not to buy it because it is way too expensive, but as always, he stays focused on what really matters. He reassures her not to worry, saying he only wants a comfortable home. The other girls are visibly jealous. Here is Chenna actively trying to make him spend less, and there he is, staying perfectly loyal to the cause. A true man. But he also knows that without some negotiation, everyone will think he is a total fool. After all, this is China. If you refuse to bargain down to the very end, it is not even about wealth anymore. It is about avoiding looking like an absolute idiot who just hates haggling. So right then, he tells the manager they need to talk discounts. He knows full well she holds the power to negotiate. She asks if he is actually ready to make a final decision today, because if so, she can easily request an amazing deal for him, but he just shakes his head. Instead of a basic cash discount, he demands extra parking spaces, because at this rate, he will be investing heavily into this property. Meanwhile, Menglu flat out refuses to yield. She keeps flipping her hair left and right, throwing suggestive smiles all over the place. Our boy watches her, wondering if this girl is completely mentally unstable, but then she makes a peculiar movement. And suddenly, it all clicks. She is playing the game. He is honestly impressed. This damn woman knows exactly what she is doing. But right now is definitely not the time to be distracted by that. He is here to finalize a massive $3 million contract. The sheer absurdity of this situation is just wild. Let me paint the picture for you. Our guy Shen Yuan is casually chilling in this luxury office, looking to secure a $3 million house like it is nothing. All while that crazy woman keeps teasing him, flashing just the strap of her bra and aggressively flirting from one side to the other. Half an hour later, the agent returns, announcing that the special discounts have been applied. The final total hits 2.98. She just needs his signature. Without a single second thought, our boy just agrees and confidently grabs the pen. Meanwhile, the vixen is sitting there in pure disbelief. She is desperately wondering where on earth she can find a man willing to put a $3 million house in her name. And there he is, casually smiling as he watches the massive transaction clear the account. Honestly, the guy already had 15 million Chinese yuan saved up. He admits that not even during the absolute best times, before his family completely went bankrupt, did he ever have that kind of cash sitting around. If dear Nana had not triggered that convenient little mission, this would have taken way longer. She genuinely deserves all the credit for this win. Right then, the system chimes in announcing that as a special reward, he has just been granted a stunning lake house villa out in Jinsha City. He is supposed to claim the keys tomorrow morning at the sales office right at 9 o'clock. Even the professional saleswoman is getting completely flustered now. She realizes he is not even dating the girl beside him, yet he just bought a massive house. Meeting a generous guy like him would be an absolute dream. She quickly offers to save Mr. Shen's number, promising that if she ever comes across a highly discounted luxury property, she will personally send him a message. He casually agrees, letting her scan his contact info right there. Meanwhile, the other girl, who is not even his actual girlfriend, starts getting seriously pissed. She wonders where this damn snake came from just to compete with her. Suddenly, Menglu stands up, claiming she is also thinking about buying a house soon. She smoothly adds that getting some expert advice from him later would be amazing. So, naturally, she aggressively passes her number 2. She fully takes advantage of his social app already being open and quickly scans his contact code. He just shrugs it off, basically saying whatever. Then he turns and apologizes to Nana, explaining that he unfortunately has some urgent business to handle today. He will not be sticking around to interrupt their hangout any longer. He starts heading out the door. The bra-strap queen is left standing there, totally baffled as to why he is leaving when she offers so much. She silently begs him to come back. Meanwhile, Nana calls the other two over to grab some food and chill out for a bit. The stunned fool just kind of awkwardly goes along with it. Skip to half an hour later at the school cafe, and someone else is already throwing a massive fit. This right here is exactly why I love these stories. There is always something wild happening. People are already whispering about her, definitely gossiping about something. Meanwhile, she is on the phone, telling someone she is prepping the materials and will send all the info over tomorrow. Just then, Shen Yuan strolls by and catches her saying she has something planned for tonight, so she is busy. He grabs a seat and asks the teacher what is going on. She explains the school is launching a brand new startup program for the students. He asks why. She says the school just wants to back young entrepreneurs, put up cash, build a workspace, offer guidance, the usual setup. The issue, they lack partners and outside investors are not biting. He wants to know what exactly the school is offering to potential backers. She tells him the obvious student talent. The kids would basically join those companies directly. The graduates from there are usually top tier, but Shen Yuan absolutely does not hold back. He straight up calls out that their school is honestly not that great. Far from top tier, she admits she knows that, which is exactly why getting real support is incredibly hard. Then something clicks. Apparently, a woman from the university wants her hitting a bar tonight to meet potential investors. But she knows exactly what those old guys really want, and she is absolutely not in the mood. Shen Yuan actually wants to help out here. He can see how genuinely stressed she is. But even though he has money, man, he is not about to just throw cash away. For something like this to be truly worth it, at least a third of the students need real talent. But from what he can clearly see, barely a fifth fit the bill. She asks if he is actually interested, and he admits not really. The poor teacher begs him to at least think it over. The project has not even launched, and getting it off the ground might not be that impossible. Depending on the investors, it could totally happen. Then boom, the perfect life system suddenly activates. An enviable person does not just hoard cash. They also need to build massive prestige and influence other parts of society. And since he is still a student, this is the very first area he needs to heavily impact. That is exactly why investing in school projects earns him prestige points. For every 500 points he scores, he gets the chance to unlock a brand new talent attribute or something like that. Watch closely, those points are tied entirely to his reputation, basically how people view him. Suddenly, this investment just got a whole lot more interesting. Forget turning a profit, he just needs to stack prestige. Spend cash, get points. And thinking about the sheer number of girls he could profit from, he figures it is completely worth it either way. Time to spend big. Then he asks the teacher straight up if someone decides to invest, who actually gets to pick the students, the company or the school. She explains it is technically the school, but with 0 active investors right now, that is definitely up for negotiation. So she says if he is the one investing, he could be the one doing the selecting. And just like that, boom. Shen Yuan tries to run a classic casting test on the spot. She tells him to knock off the jokes. She knows his family went totally bankrupt. How is someone who cannot afford tuition supposed to fund anything? But man, he just whips out his phone and tells her directly. Count the zeros in his bank account. The second she sees those 9 digits, 15 million, she demands to know how he got that cash. He explains that back when his family was thriving, he bought heavy into crypto. And during their bankruptcy, those coins totally skyrocketed. She just stands there in absolute shock. Her own student is a literal multimillionaire. He leans in close. Come with me, he says. Stick by my side and you will live in luxury, traveling the world with me. She's curious now, but plays it cool. She tells him to stop being silly and focus on the project. She has to know if he is actually serious about this. Even she knows turning a profit here is tough. But Shen Yuan flat out says he is not investing for money. He wants to support the university and society. Out of nowhere, she starts imagining herself in bed, thinking about how truly committed he seems. And now she wonders that part about traveling the world together. Was he seriously offering that too? She quickly snaps out of it, shaking her head. She really needs to stop thinking that way. She stands up with a completely flushed expression, tells him she's going to talk to the secretary. They will continue the conversation later. Shen Yuan does not even get a chance to respond, and then right at 4 p.m., he gets a press-it message from Nana with little heart emojis. She wants him at the cafe to try the good stuff. This guy is picky, though. He points out she is not fully trained yet, so they will have to go over and show her exactly how it is done. Then again, at least her outfit is totally on point. The camera shifts over to the blue-haired girl Kong Xiaoyi, a former classmate. She mutters that she has absolutely no clue why she keeps thinking about that total weirdo Shen Yuan. He is not the wealthy kid he once was. The guy cannot even afford his own tuition anymore. She definitely needs to wipe him from her mind. Meanwhile, the girl in the plaid outfit turns and asks Yuping if she's actually dating Huan Haba, one of Shen Yuan's college roommates. She insists Huan is way better than Shen Yuan because at least he actually pays for all their meals. Whenever she hung around Shen Yuan, all she ever did was lose money. Suddenly, she shushes her friend to keep her voice down. He is walking up right now, just climbing the stairs, completely minding his own business. And of course, these lovely ladies assume he is rushing to some low-paying gig. Trust me, they are just so damn spiteful. They actually decide to follow him around just to see where he works so they can have a really good laugh at his expense. One of them steps up, swaying her hips, and calls out to ask where he is headed. She teases that if he is selling stuff, they will totally come by and buy something just to help out. Shen Yuan just stands there looking wildly confused. What are these absolute lunatics even talking about? But if they want to play games, he is perfectly fine having a little fun. So he tells them he works at a coffee shop and invites them to tag along, promising to personally make them something nice to drink. Cut to the cafe. Nana and the bra-strap queen finally remembered her name is Manglu are busy chatting away. The mean girls show up entirely starstruck by the older women whispering to each other, asking who these gorgeous long-leg beauties even are. Both ladies lean in close as Shen Yuan casually walks up, telling them how much he missed them since he's finally back. Manglu is clearly jealous right away, demanding to know if those 3 high schoolers were the big errand he had to handle. Our boy shrugs, explaining he just bumped into them on the street and wanted to treat them to a quick cup of coffee. The high schoolers glance around, completely rattled. They completely freeze. Hearing these women call Shen Yuan boss just does not add up. They fully assumed he was just grinding away here as some random employee, not that he actually owned the entire establishment. Shy, the girl with the big heart, pulls her friend aside and whispers they should leave. No point getting tangled up in whatever weird mess this is. And sure enough, Yuping angrily storms off, convinced that damn Shen Yuan brought them here just to completely humiliate them. Manglu, the bra-strap queen, calls out to him. Why did those little girls just run off? He smiles and she tells him to drop the sweet talk, or she really might lose control. But our guy, completely unfazed, he casually accepts a coffee from Nana. She mentions she kept it light on sugar, but the King of Charms smoothly replies if she made it, it is absolutely guaranteed to taste amazing. Menglu watches this whole exchange, wondering why he keeps dropping these smooth romantic one-liners out of thin air. Yet she cannot help but find it appealing. A guy with that much cash and charm? Totally amazing. Out of nowhere, she suddenly asks about his height and weight. He answers right back 1.82 meters and, unfortunately, just 72 kilos since he recently dropped some weight. She asks why. He casually admits he has been burning massive energy between the sheets lately. Nana gets instantly flustered, wondering why he brings that up. Weirdly enough, Menglu could not care less. She says she totally understands. Pulling out her phone, she runs some quick math and tells him he needs to pack on at least 10 more kilos of solid muscle. 10 kilos is crazy heavy. He chuckles, pointing out she clearly just wants a new gym sign-up. She happily confirms, yep, that is exactly what she meant. They keep chatting, and a short while later, she announces it is time to head out. Naturally, she leaves with a playful skirt toss and a bold wink for our guy. He just stands there completely stunned. She actually pulled that daring little stunt right in front of her own friend. Eventually, karma is bound to catch up with her. Suddenly, he grabs Nana by the arm and declares it is time for some exercise. The poor girl nervously asks what kind of exercise he actually means. He simply replies the kind that burns a whole lot of energy. She panics, saying this really is not the best time. Another employee is nearby, and her friend just left. But this absolute rascal just fires back the more trouble there is, the better the thrill gets. And with that, our SSR swordsman boldly launches his attack right into the demon cavern. The poor nearby employee hears absolutely everything. Her eyes go wide, completely stunned by why her boss is acting so daring today. Right at that exact moment, Minglu comes rushing back, shouting she forgot her purse. The employee tries warning her it is a bad time, but Minglu brushes past, telling her to just let her inside. Walking over to grab her bag, she overhears her friend crying out, begging him to please slow down. She stands there totally stunned by how insane those two are. 10 minutes later, arms crossed. She demands to know how he actually pulled off that kind of stamina. Licking her lips, she yells out next time she is sitting them both down for a very proper talk. Nana is just totally mortified. She never expected to go through anything remotely like this. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan is genuinely wondering if those cursed pay-per-view girls seriously stood there eavesdropping for a full 10 minutes. The scene cuts over to Secretary Liu. She's asking the director about this entire situation with Shen Yuan wanting to fund a startup project. Li Xiao insists she is telling the absolute truth, The director just demands to know if this kid actually has the cash. She admits she doubted it at first too, but he flashed a bank balance holding over 10 million. Now the guy is noticeably rattled. He demands to know if Shen Yuan can actually spend that fortune. Could it be his parents' wealth or something similar? She replies that the funds seem entirely his own, completely free to use however he pleases. The director immediately orders her to cooperate with the boy fully. Plus, it would be great if this Shen Yuan could visit his office. He wants a formal face-to-face chat. Xiao gently asks the director to show a bit more politeness. After all, the boy is no longer just a student, he is a major investor. But the boss just tells her to blindly follow orders. Privately, he thinks they cannot just let this arrogant kid run wild. He needs a reality check. Right in the middle of his SSR swordsman battle, Shen Yuan gets a sudden call from the teacher. She explains the director is demanding an urgent meeting. Shen Yuan is clearly annoyed. He is dropping massive money into this, so why are they trying to order him around? He tells her to put the phone on speaker. Can the director hear him clearly? Too bad for them. He claims he is a busy guy with multiple active projects. His time costs money. But if this director wants to chat, he can get his number from Miss Xiao and text him directly. And just like that, click, he hangs up. The boss is left totally speechless. Xiao turns bright red, absolutely shocked he would talk to the director like that. Naturally, the old man is furious, claiming he refuses to take this filthy money. Too bad for his pride, this cursed project is urgent and they desperately need results. So he tells Xiao it is fine, just invite the kid to dinner. They absolutely need his money. When she updates Shen Yuan, he notices their tone changed remarkably fast. This proves they are entirely desperate for his investment funds. This gives him the complete upper hand here. Finally, the battle wraps up and Nana gets to her feet. Since he has dinner plans, she suggests they make the absolute most of their remaining day. The rascal smiles to himself. She really is an amazing woman, always incredibly thoughtful. Right then, another call comes in, inviting him for a casual walk around the school athletic field. He replies, that sounds incredibly boring. He would much rather go out and grab an ice-cold drink. He's on the phone with Minghui. She admits she feels slightly sick, but if he insists, she can manage. But our guy is a true gentleman. He tells her that health always comes first. He will come pick her up at the dorm for a slow walk together. When he arrives, she immediately throws herself right into his arms. He softly warns her to be careful and take better care of herself. She plants a soft kiss on his cheek, calling him so incredibly sweet. But then bam, the killer question finally drops. She wants to know exactly what kind of relationship they actually have. She's convinced they have already done everything a normal couple does. Shen Yuan knows this is a heavily loaded trap of a question. The problem is the mood is perfect, and he refuses to ruin the moment. So, playing right along, he tells her they are definitely a couple. She asks if that is truly genuine. Pulling her into a tight hug, he says it obviously is. She then asks if this makes her his official girlfriend. He smoothly dodges a direct answer, silently thinking about having a real girlfriend. A darling, a beloved sweetheart, a beautiful babe, just stacking up titles in his head. But she is all smiles, saying that if so, he is about to receive a massive reward. He tells her to drop that kind of thinking and instead asks if she wants a brand new car or a house to celebrate their official status. She laughs it off as way too much. What she really wants is just some expensive makeup and a couple designer handbags. He playfully teases her, pointing out she already owns plenty of those. Plus, she spends most of her time stuck on campus, so a car would be utterly useless anyway. Since that is the case, they might as well go check out some luxury houses. She just hugs him tighter, claiming she does not care. She only wants to stay right by his side. The following day, a message pops up from Ming Lulu, asking if her skinny guy is ready. The rascal jumps on a video call and asks since when he was ever skinny. Also, her camera angle is absolutely terrible. But that cheeky troublemaker throws it right back, asking what he honestly thought of the view. She's rocking her tight workout gear, bragging that she will be joining the family soon enough. Right at that exact moment, guess who walks into the frame? Zhou Wanting. You remember her, right? The very same girl who brutally rejected our boy at the start. She asks Meng Lulu why she looks so happy, but Lulu just brushes it off. Just a funny friend. While they sit at the table, Wanting mentions their class has not even started yet, so she asks about this mysterious funny guy. Menglu casually drops a bomb. Her friend just got a $3 million apartment from him. Wanting is completely stunned. She desperately demands to know who this crazy billionaire is, because handing out expensive places like that, he has to be seriously loaded. Naturally, her mind goes straight to some creepy old sugar daddy. Being around him must be absolute torture. Then again, for a free luxury apartment, she would totally play along too. She really needs to find a better man. But Manglu quickly clears things up. No, the guy just turned 20 years old. He's actually younger than her friend. Wanting immediately assumes he must be completely hideous. Manglu shoots that down fast. He is actually pretty handsome. Now Wanting is convinced this friend has to be a model. Someone internationally competitive, literally top-tier beauty. But Manglu just shrugs, saying she's only about as pretty as Wanting. They each have their own unique charm. Wanting laughs. Makes sense. Well, that definitely explains it. You have that whole teacher charm working for you. Right then, Shen Yuan texts, saying he's checking out a new apartment. Manglu immediately jumps on it. She asks to tag along. He replies back. Sure. She tells him to pick her up from the gym. Meanwhile, she's grinning like a total idiot at her phone. Wanting notices the grin and asks what the big deal is. Manglu casually replies that class is going to have to wait, because that exact same guy just invited her to go see the new place. It finally hits Wanting hard. Damn. Manglu is totally stealing the boyfriend her friend just hooked. But honestly, based on what she has heard so far, yeah, she would probably do the exact same thing. Right then, this gym guy named Han Li walks over to ask about their class schedule today. Manglu simply makes a face and completely dips out. Watching from above, Wanting just waits there with Han Li. She really wonders how an M9 driver managed to snag Manglu. Dudes with way nicer cars never stood a single chance with her before. Telling Han Li he is totally clueless, she explains that the driver just bought a $3 million place for her friend. Han Li is completely stunned. Who the hell is this billionaire? The car door opens. Bam. The legendary Shen Yuan. She cannot believe the bastard Manglu was hyping up is actually him. Yep, the exact same guy she ruthlessly ditched 2 weeks ago. The girl practically has a total meltdown, hand grabbing her head, completely losing her mind. She slowly checks her phone. It is a new message from that older guy she has been seeing. He invites her over to spend the night. She really hates the guy for being way too blunt all the time. But now, completely tangled up in this Shen Yuan mess, she just replies fine and calls him an absolute idiot. Clearly confused, he asks if it is really her. She shoots back, no, it is my mom. The poor guy gets roasted at work, and now she is blushing hard. I mean, you can guess exactly what she is plotting right now. She desperately wonders if she can still win Shen Yuan back. The huge problem is his coach entering the game, and she brings some pretty serious backup to the table. Would it be too crazy to try and join that family? Meanwhile, inside the car, Manglu compliments his fancy ride. She purrs that with all this space, they could do all sorts of things. Long trips, maybe. Definitely trying to plant some spicy ideas, she flirts, but he just nods, saying a trip through the forest would be pretty nice. The poor girl realizes he totally missed the hint. She sighs, telling him he really does not know how to play along. He bluntly asks if she wants to play tennis. She just laughs. It is definitely meant as some kind of wild innuendo, but honestly, it is pretty hard to tell. Balls, rackets, nets, who knows? 30 minutes later, they finally arrive. He walks right up to reception, announcing himself as Shen Yuan to claim the property. The woman asks if he wants a tour before signing. Waving her off, he says, nah, hand over the contract. They can look at the place later. Once everything is signed, the saleswoman sits in the backseat, glaring at the woman beside him. She is absolutely sure that is not his girlfriend. But she can clearly tell this girl is pure trouble. These women are totally going to end up destroying each other. Suddenly, she gets hit with a massive existential crisis. The world is unfair. She is working her tail off here, while that girl has zero actual skills, just a dangerously tempting body. And somehow, that alone makes men completely lose their minds and buy whole houses. Upon arriving, our boy gets the keys to a massive mansion. The whole thing looks like an actual medieval castle. Of course, the fired-up trainer immediately gushes about how amazing it is. She realizes rich people really do live differently. If she wants to stay in a place like this, she absolutely has to win Shen Yuan over. The saleswoman starts explaining the massive size and layout, but right then, a system alert pops up, congratulating him. To make this house truly flawless, it requires perfect interior design. Secure a custom exclusive design, and he earns 20 million. Our guy is totally pumped. This mission sounds like an absolute breeze. He asks the woman if she knows any solid design firms. Grabbing the contact info she provides, he announces he is heading out. No point sticking around an empty, unfurnished place anyway. Meanwhile, Menglu shifts gears, asking if she can snap some pictures for her social media. He agrees, on one strict condition: keep his face hidden. She swears she would never post it. If she did, it would just attract a massive horde of thirsty rivals trying to steal him away. Back inside the car, he laughs, asking her exact follower count. She proudly claims 50,000. He asks if they are mostly foreigners, and she says no. It is mostly local folks who recognize her from around town. Now she just needs to be dropped off back at the gym. But he casually tells her they are heading to play basketball right now. Look at this guy, using sports metaphors just to talk about scoring some action. She immediately says, no way. but he quickly reminds her how he left her friend completely sore yesterday. Our guy floors the gas pedal. He tells her she has zero right to complain, especially after eavesdropping for 10 whole minutes earlier. Now it is time to pay the toll. Despite that, she stubbornly insists she is not in the mood. Obviously, this sly girl is only saying no to play hard to get. She knows making it too easy means he will start seeing her as cheap. The longer she drags this chase out, the harder she wins him over. Inside her head, she's already picturing herself perfectly reeling him right in, setting a brand new trap every single day, keeping him hopelessly hooked and always craving more. She steps out of the car, thanks him, and offers free training anytime. He replies that maybe he will, but it will definitely be to play basketball. She strolls into the gym, flashing a massive smile, only to bump straight into the manager, Gong Mingbo. He demands to know what she has been doing, having heard she totally skipped class today. That is a massive breach of contract. Minglu calmly explains she had a highly important personal issue to handle. She even offers to pay double the class cost just to make up for it. But the manager shakes his head. Miss Su still filed a formal complaint. Wow, Wang Xing really does not mess around with the rules. He tells Minglu she got lucky he stepped in and handled the issue. But Minglu instantly reads the room. This guy is pulling the classic someone complained, but do not worry, I fixed it for you trick. Just trying to make her feel grateful so she might fall for him. Too bad he is definitely not her type, so she just waves him off. She casually states she is returning to work. Poor guy, his little manipulation plan just got completely exposed. He awkwardly scrambles, asking if she wants to grab something to eat together. But she shoots him down. She already brought her own fitness meals today. Absolutely zero need to eat out. Meanwhile, her mind is already drifting, daydreaming about living inside that massive luxury villa someday. When I first saw this girl, I figured she would vanish after one chapter. But no, she's a serious contender. Back at the campus, the higher-ups are talking about Shen Yuan, the student showing interest in funding the entrepreneurship program. Mr. Liu stands nearby and mentions they invited the kid to dinner, but apparently, he still has not answered Professor Li. Then Kong Shiping, the secretary sitting on the right, speaks up. They absolutely cannot look down on this guy just because he studies here. If he plans on investing, they need to treat him with absolute respect. That is exactly why he plans to invite the kid personally. It shows they genuinely value the support. Liu looks a bit shaken. He suggests a personal visit from the secretary might be pushing it. Meanwhile, back at the dorm room, Haibo tells our main guy he has been chatting with Yuping for days. He really wants to know when they are finally making a move. His text history is brutal. Good morning, want breakfast? No. Raining out? Need an umbrella? No. Want some help this weekend? Absolutely not. Want to hike the mountains? Also rejected. Shen Yuan silently notes this poor guy has made exactly zero progress in 3 years. But Haibo defends himself immediately. At least this girl actually replies. The last one he tried talking to left him completely on red. So technically, he's doing great. Shen Yuan watches him. Total lost cause. What do you even say to someone getting excited over flat rejection? He just tells him to go ask their buddy Kai for advice instead. Haibo just scoffs. Ask Kai? That guy is utterly clueless with women too. He cannot help at all. The poor guy at the PC spins around, catching strays out of nowhere. Then he looks right back at Shen Yuan. Look, she's replying constantly and actually agreed to a date. So what do you think? Shen Yuan just nods and wishes him luck. Sounds like you are on the right track. Huang completely lights up if Shen Yuan approves. It is practically a done deal. Right at that very second, a loud knock hits the door. They pull it open to find the school directors, with Professor Li standing there too. Everyone immediately demands to know where Shen Yuan is. His roommates figure he is in huge trouble. I swear, people at this university are incredibly nosy. Outside the room, a massive crowd is already gathering to watch the drama unfold. Someone asks the kid in glasses what is going on. He figures Shen Yuan made his cash illegally. The cops are definitely here for him. His buddy steps right out of the room and tells that loudmouth to stop spreading absolute garbage. Li Xiao turns to our guy next. She mentions that Kong from the committee needs a quick word. Shen Yuan gives a polite greeting. The older man introduces himself and asks about dinner plans tonight. Since this big Shoshin is all the way down here personally, he agrees. Kong thanks him, promising they can hash out all the details soon. It is all about that entrepreneurship project. They head out together, leaving everyone on campus totally confused. Why would a VIP invite a student out? Shen Yuan's buddies just whisper at him, teasing him relentlessly, while that salty guy fumes with pure jealousy. We cut straight to the Nanjing restaurant. Our guy shows up wearing a literal tank top, zero effort. Then again, neither the older man nor the woman dressed up either, so whatever. Shen Yuan gets right to business. If he puts down money, it happens purely on his terms. He demands absolute control over who gets funding from this initiative. How much? To who? Totally up to him. with zero school interference. Lu jumps in, ready to argue that is way overboard, but Kong shuts him down instantly. He then calmly explains to Shen Yuan that the school runs this project. Trust me, this is a massive deal. Plus, they must report to the media and stay publicly accountable. They cannot just follow blindly. But Shen Yuan fires right back, saying that logic only holds up if they actually had the money. Since they are broke, they better accept his offer. Plus, he plans to invest for actual returns, not guaranteed losses. So obviously, he will pick the very best candidates and secure his own interests. Honestly, he just wants to gather real talent right now. Because when he inevitably becomes a massive corporate magnate later on, he will need a huge team. A huge team meaning a whole lineup of beautiful women right at his fingertips. Kong agrees to those wild conditions, but mentions Shen Yuan still needs to attend an official meeting. He has to discuss things with the rest of the staff. A few wine glasses and some small talk later, dinner finally wraps up. Look who gets to ride home with him, Li Xiao. She compliments the sheer space inside his new luxury ride. He almost responds before her phone rings. Apparently, a girl named Li Ying, who is her sister, if memory serves, ran into a major problem. Now she cannot help her out with something important anymore. Li Xiao says it is fine and hangs up. She's moving out, so he asks why. She explains the apartment lease she shares with her sister completely ran out. The landlord refuses to renew, forcing them to find a brand new place fast. Our guy immediately offers to help her move. She can easily use his massive car, but she argues that just would not be right. She already asked too much, and his car is brand new. He just shrugs, cars are meant to be used. Besides, she is a teacher. He is just a student trying to be supportive. She finally gives in, realizing he will not take no for an answer. Now she starts blushing. She admits that ignoring his student status, he really is pretty damn attractive. Then her mind flashes to that handbag he gifted her. But wait, since his finances are clearly amazing now, maybe that bag was the real deal after all. She asks if he remembers it, and he says, yeah, why? She starts talking, but he cuts right in it was real. He already knew she secretly doubted the authenticity. He is no struggling student anymore. Gifting someone who helped him out is totally fine. He simply gave a gift to someone he respects. That is it. Now she goes full tomato mode, completely bright red, thinking none of this is appropriate. She tries speaking again, but he tells her to just keep driving. Do not return it. He refuses. Later, she asks if he plans on sleeping at home tonight. He says no, having zero places nearby, so he heads to the dorms. She hands him the keys, telling him to return the car tomorrow. It is totally fine. And man, she looks absolutely stunning in that particular photo. The rascal thanks her, planting a quick kiss on her cheek. She realizes he is getting bold. Last time, he leaned in out of absolutely nowhere. Then again by the bookshelf. And now this. She runs off, shouting that he is the worst student ever. Right on cue, Nana texts him, saying it looks like a worker left something behind and needs to get inside. But Nana is far away. Wait, it was not her. It is the other woman who hangs around there, the tall one with the exploding skirt, Kong Jilin. She apologizes, claiming she left some toys at the cafe. Toys? What kind of toys? Anyway, he heads over, saying no problem. He holds the door. She walks right in and starts scanning the room, claiming she needs something for her kids. Yeah, I thought this meant something else. Never mind. Our guy just stands there, completely casual, quietly checking out all the high-quality assets in the room. He asks about her kid's age. 3.5. She answers an absolute handful, apparently. But then he notices what she actually picks up a bottle of wine. Suddenly, her whole excuse completely falls apart. She turns back around to face him, brightly announcing she found everything. He asks why she keeps staring at the room. Oh, right, he actually bought this entire cafe directly from her. Being back brings up heavy nostalgia. Our boy reads the room instantly. Whatever is happening in her personal life right now, things are clearly rough. Coming all this way just to grab a single bottle of wine, yeah, something is definitely off here. He gently lets her know she is always welcome to visit whenever she wants. She smiles and replies probably better if she does not stop by too often. Figuring she already planned on drinking alone, he just invites her to share a glass right now. The lady does not hesitate at all. Are you sure? She asks. He just gives a simple nod. Pouring out the wine, he casually drops a question, is this a family issue? She just looks incredibly down. Answering him, she wonders how he always picks up on absolutely everything so fast. He admits he actually knows her husband, Mr. Zheng Zhenyang, the guy working over at the local car dealership. Word around town is that guy used to mess around with Chen at work, despite already having a wife at home. The tall woman leans in. Did something actually happen between him and Chen Na? Probably not, he answers, but the guy was definitely pushing his luck hard. That explains exactly why she quit. She just sighs another name to add to her growing list. Lately, she has been seriously considering divorce. She even started gathering all the paperwork to brace herself. The real problem is her husband is an absolute nightmare. Threatening people at work, intimidating employees, she knows this process will not be easy. Plus, with a young kid heavily involved now, she has no idea how this will affect the child. Things are getting incredibly messy. Our guy naturally cuts straight to the point. He tells her bluntly, if things are over, they are over. So stop dragging it out. Stalling will only make things so much worse for the kid. Nodding slowly, she admits he is completely right about that. Honestly, she is making some massive life choices off one sentence from our guy. Even so, she genuinely appreciates him just sitting there listening to her. The tall lady in red warmly thanks him. Standing up, she mutters about finally heading home but suddenly stumbles, falling straight into his arms. Wait, what is happening here? She blurts out a quick apology, leans in for a sudden goodbye kiss, and immediately sprints away. Our boy is left standing there, completely frozen in confusion. Outside, she frantically tells herself she must be going absolutely crazy. She had a little wine and totally lost her grip. After years of behaving perfectly, she just acted like a wild teenager out of nowhere. Meanwhile, he calls Nana, claiming that helping her friend took him way too far from home. Looks like he needs to crash at her place tonight. Unfazed, Nana simply offers to book him a hotel room instead. But he instantly shuts that down. Nope, going to your place is way better. He insists she should not waste her money, telling her not to worry. He promises he just wants a little hug. But when he finally shows up, man, just look at the intense way she greets him. Our boy is already stumbling around, clearly highly tipsy. He casually mentions he just came back from a long dinner with some school staff. She tells him to sit down and chill while she brews some hot tea, but honestly, his mind is already totally gone. He leans right in for a hug, whispering that she really has nothing to worry about. She demands to know his endgame. It is just a quick hug, he swears. She remembers the first time he claimed they were just getting water. Then it was just exercise, and now it is this random hug excuse. This guy literally always has an excuse prepared, but tonight, he is definitely not scoring. She already set the bed up with a massive gap between them. She lies down and immediately turns her back. Staring at her, he wonders what went wrong. He thought she fully accepted him. Still, our boy is ridiculously slick. He drops onto the bed, complaining that he is absolutely freezing. To be fair, the room is icy, and all that alcohol ruined his body heat. She offers to turn the heater on, but he sighs, calling that way too complicated. Why rely on technology when he could just slide closer to her instead? That would be more than enough. She opens her mouth to argue, but he swiftly cuts her off. The cold is magically gone now. Yeah, pretty obvious the bastard scored again. The next morning arrives with a message from her. She already washed his clothes and headed straight to work. He wakes up reading that exact message, only to get blasted by explosive calls from Menglu. She is aggressively demanding to know where her skinny guy is at the gym. Yi is getting seriously annoyed with himself now. This girl is literally close friends with Nana. He can barely start his morning dealing with this drama. Suddenly, the girl pops up holding 2 basketballs, aggressively asking why his phone was placed so far away. Opening his eyes slowly, he listens to her tease. What? Are you completely terrified I am going to eat you or something? And man, his phone just absolutely refuses to stop ringing. Now he is getting a sudden call straight from Xiao. The second he claims he has urgent business to deal with, Menglu promises to hang up, giving him a very playful little wave goodbye. Once Shen Yuan picks up the phone, Xiao announces his project got approved. He replies that every student involved must submit a photo, height, and weight. She immediately asks why. He casually explains a successful entrepreneur needs to maintain great physical condition and solid looks. It is the one real way he can gauge their discipline and see if they actually take care of themselves. She finds it pretty strange, but hey, he is the guy writing the checks. They will follow his lead. Looks like they already arranged for him to meet the first batch of students shortly. He agrees to the plan. She then casually adds that she moves tomorrow, asking if he happens to be free. He says yes. Half an hour later, he heads out to grab breakfast until his phone rings. It is Menglu again. This girl absolutely refuses to leave him alone. Soon as he answers, she points out he is still sitting at home. He tells her he is busy reviewing villa designs and company business. She just teases him right back, asking if he wants a tiny troublemaker by his side. He just laughs out loud, fully aware he is the real problem. But she really does give him some solid emotional support, so he tells her she can tag along if she wants. She drops a super high-quality selfie, saying she is at the gym. A bit later, our guy is there waiting. Watch closely, here comes that classic flex we all saw coming. Some older guy pulls up, bragging his ride is far better. He lectures Shen Yuan pulling top-tier women requires a much higher-end approach. But for a college kid, he guesses it is decent. Shen Yuan just nods, thanks. Then the main event arrives, Menglu herself. The rich dude smirks, noting Menglu finally showed up. He asks what she wants for lunch. She politely thanks Mr. Fan. Yes, that is literally his name. She mentions she already made plans and sent him a text. The guy immediately invites himself, but Shen Yuan cuts right in. He apologizes, saying his cheap car cannot handle a guy with that much cash. She walks past, waves goodbye to Fan, and tells Shen Yuan to hurry up. Now the rich dude is just sulking, completely baffled why she chose that guy's ride. Sure, Fan is loaded, but it is entirely his parents' money anyway, which is exactly why she prefers Shen Yuan. Inside the car, she starts explaining how ridiculously wealthy Mr. Fan actually is, getting a $2 million car from his folks, and so on. Shen Yuan just gives her a flat stare, basically saying, okay, and why exactly does he need to know this? She gets awkward, asking why he's acting so insanely cold today. He asks what she honestly expected him to say to that. She turns away, completely annoyed, but our guy knows exactly what is happening. She brings this other guy along just to stir the pot and spark a little jealousy. She wants Shen Yuan to see she has options. Yeah, right, he completely ignores her trap. He just drops a hint if she wants him sweating, he could totally use a good workout. She absolutely loses it, shaking him, calling him a total creep. He just smirks what, a little basketball never hurt anyone, but she fires right back. The second she left the cafe, the other day, he sprinted straight upstairs. So yeah, she knows exactly what kind of indoor sports he has in mind. Shen Yuan groans she is never going to let that exact moment go. Then she totally flips the script. She asks why her own schedule always feels so weirdly wide open, like how she somehow always finds time to shadow him everywhere, and then she answers it herself. She is not actually free. She just shoves everything else aside so she can be right there with him. He apologizes, but she totally rejects it. Not unless he buys her dinner at some incredibly fancy place. But our guy pushes his luck even further, teasing that he has something else she might really enjoy. Thank God the scene cuts. Now he is meeting the local furniture dealers. The rep flips through a massive slideshow, European styles, modern designs, just a whole mountain of catalogs. Manglu nods along, saying it all looks pretty decent, and asks about the budget. Playing completely dumb, Shen Yuan says he is keeping it cheap, just a casual 20 million. The girl instantly jumps like she got struck by lightning, eyes bulging. And here comes the bra strap queen. Now she's the skirt queen too, lifting and dropping both straps at the exact same time. Total absolute menace. Dropping that much cash means he has to be sitting on 100 million easy. Shen Yuan stands up, making his final call. Just stick with the classic Chinese aesthetic, that is it. The woman practically bows, adding that Mr. Han wants a personal introduction. The boss wants to be buddies. But Shen Yuan brushes it off the contract is not signed yet, so dinner is a bit premature. She quickly apologizes, insisting her boss just wants to show goodwill, but our guy is already walking away. Even so, she stares at him completely love-struck. You cannot blame her, 20 million could fund their entire company. Unreal. Yet the second she steps into the back room, she lies claiming Mr. Shen agreed to dinner later. Baldy, Mr. Huang, warns them all. They absolutely must secure a solid relationship with this kid. He asks if Shen Yuan is dining alone. The rep smirks he will definitely bring a girl. Even if the woman with him doesn't look like a wife, the guy says it hardly matters if they are dating. Just bring the legendary Susu out to keep him company. Back inside the car, the girl complains the AC is running way too hot. Shen Yuan says he feels perfectly fine. She asks about his plans for later, and he brushes it off as no big deal. He's dropping her off at work, but she fires back not today. She's tagging along for free meals wherever he goes. Our boy smirks if she plans on following him around all day. She better be ready to stick around for the night too. Wild thoughts instantly flood her mind, but she just mutters that he is a total creep. Still, she absolutely refuses to step out. No way is she heading back to work. Right on cue, her friend calls to check in on what she is doing today. Menglu casually says she is just riding in the car. Her poor friend assumes she means Mr. Fan, the guy they ditched earlier. But Menglu drops the truth. Nope, she is sitting in Shen Yuan's ride. Her friend instantly freaks out, demanding to know if they hooked up. Menglu shuts that down. No, they didn't do anything. She just went to check out some renovation plans for a house he bought. Just some furniture designs and things like that. But the second she drops the actual price tag, her friend goes completely silent in shock. Her friend stammers out that it makes zero sense for him to be tossing around that ridiculous amount of cash. Seriously, Shanai struck absolute gold with this guy. She found a walking bank account, and now her friend gets to enjoy the luxury. It finally hits her. The two girls who used to be exactly on her level are now completely living the high life. Maybe they just got a little more blessed in the chess department. Later that evening at a high-end Nanjing restaurant, a guy walks up to Mr. Wan, asking what brings him here. The bald man smoothly replies, waiting on a major VIP. The guy wishes him a profitable night and walks off, staring at the girl, wondering why Baldy brought such a stunning beauty along. Shen Yuan parks his car and shoots the man a quick message. Baldy practically trips over himself, rushing out to properly greet them. He instantly asks if the gorgeous girl beside him is his girlfriend. Shen Yuan completely shuts it down. Nope, just a regular friend. Her name is Menglu. The man says hello, but she's secretly fuming. Shen Yuan didn't even hesitate a second before denying their relationship. Once seated at the table, Baldy naturally introduces his beautiful assistant designer. Meet Susu. Shen Yuan offers a polite handshake. He instantly notices the texture of her skin soft, with fingers feeling perfectly smooth just like jade. She has this rare, completely untouched purity to her. Nothing at all like the women usually throwing themselves at him. Baldy totally catches that split-second spark of interest. He quickly waves his hand, claiming they can skip the boring business talk for tonight. This is just a friendly dinner to build a connection. A woman sitting beside Susu nudges her ribs, whispering to toast the esteemed Mr. Shen. She whispers that this is her golden ticket to get close. Susu awkwardly stands up, raising her glass for a toast. Our boy casually thanks her. Minglu reaches for a drink too, but Shen Yuan cuts her off. She is the designated driver tonight. Minglu crosses her arms, clearly annoyed. But secretly, she is doing backflips in her mind. Being trusted like this actually makes it feel like they are a real couple. Strangely enough, Susu stumbles slightly with her glass, awkwardly forcing out that she wants to share a toast with him as well. Shen Yuan calmly suggests tea instead. Baldy immediately jumps in to smooth things over with a quick apology. He explains that this southern girl isn't much of a drinker. She hasn't even finished college yet, but since they are so close in age, they should have plenty in common to talk about. He orders her to add Shen Yuan on social media and start networking with this brilliant young man. Menglu sees right through the charade. This old fox brought the innocent girl along just to butter up his wealthy new client. This pure-looking student was literally being served up to Shen Yuan on a silver platter. It felt exactly like some shady, high-end underground deal. Right on cue, a guy rocking a green jacket strolls over to the table. He announces he wants to buy the gentleman a drink. Baldy waves our boy down and proudly introduces the new arrival as Lin Gunuo, his own grandson. Then he points back to Shen Yuan. He hypes Shen Yuan up as a terrifyingly gifted young talent. Weirdly enough, Gunuo looks absolutely hyped out of his mind to meet him. Why is his face so red right now? Man, I completely blanked on this guy's existence. He stares at Shen Yuan like he totally recognizes him, but I have zero clue where they crossed paths. My memory is completely fried here. I seriously do not remember this dude. Baldy asks if they know each other. Our boy just gives a vague nod somewhat, not too much, not too little. Baldy brags to his grandson that Shen Yuan dropped $10 million on a villa and plans to blow another $20 million on furniture. The kid freezes. It turns out this wealthy egghead Baldy tried impressing for years is now bending over backward just to suck up to Shen Yuan. The kid does the math. If his grandpa is brown-nosing this hard, he better start kissing up too. Just follow the old man's lead. Gunuo showers our boy in wild congratulations, loudly declaring that from now on, he will only address him as Mr. Shen. 3 hours later, the bald guy is practically dragging our boy out to karaoke. My god, Shen Yuan has this entire family on an absolute leash. He invites Mangalu along too, but she hesitates. This girl is insanely fitness-focused, that her entire life revolves around strict diets and perfect sleep schedules purely for the gains and that healthy glow. Shen Yuan tells her if she really does not want to go, she can just head home, catch up on sleep, and maintain her perfect routine. But the second she glances at the fierce competitor sitting across from her, she knows exactly what happens if she bails. That little viper will throw herself straight at him. Their night could end up getting incredibly cozy. For her, that would be an absolute disaster. Heaven help her. Her mind immediately jumps to the absolute worst-case scenario, like he might actually get that girl pregnant tonight. Panicking, she jumps up and announces she is definitely going. There is no way she misses out on this. So off they go to karaoke. Chubi just keeps her eyes glued to our boy the entire time. She looks like she wants to offer him a drink or something, but he just tells her he is perfectly fine. He has had more than enough today and just wants to relax. Plus, he already noticed she is not exactly used to loud places like this, so there is absolutely no need for her to force it. Looking pretty embarrassed, she lowers her head and quietly thanks President Chen. He tells her to keep her chin up. A young girl like her working at such a massive company is honestly pretty impressive. Oh man, this bastard is fully starting to play his little game with her now, and Mangalu picks up on it immediately. She asks if it bothers him at all that she is sitting right there. He casually replies that the only one who should be bothered is that Mr. Fan guy, his $2 million car. The dude is probably texting her right now. Naturally, she gets annoyed that he decided to bring up that specific detail. She seriously wonders why none of her usual tricks ever work on this damn guy. Suyi then steps in, asking if there is a song he likes. She will cue one up for him. He says he does not care. Whatever she picks, he will sing. Mangalu tells him to stop staring at the poor girl like that. She is practically melting. He shoots back that he looks at her the exact same way he looks at Mangalu. She immediately snaps back, yeah, right. When he stares at her, all she feels is absolute sleaze. Zero actual emotion. He replies that is entirely her fault for constantly throwing herself at him. Besides, none of it really matters. The end result is always exactly the same. Raising an eyebrow, she asks what result he means. He looks her dead in the eye and answers the bed. Right on cue, her little heart ticks up another affection point. This girl is actually into it. He is rich and handsome, so she totally lets it slide. Hey, at least he is honest. If he were ugly and completely broke, she does not even want to imagine what she would call him. He grabs a mic, and she tells him to just tone it down a bit. Then Baldy walks in, handing him the microphone and telling him to sing something good, and boom, the scene cuts outside. Damn it, I really wanted to hear the guy belt out something bold. Now the old man is just out here buttering him up. Shaking his hand, he says he never imagined making a true lifelong friend at this age. Our boy thanks him warmly, saying their amazing design team guarantees he will give priority to their company. Then the woman grabs Su Yi, saying they are heading out and waving goodbye. He asks if she will be all right, and the woman tells him not to worry at all. She will make absolutely sure she gets home safely. That leaves just him and Mangalu alone. She asks if he wants her to call a car. He tells her not to worry about it. He will just find a nearby hotel and crash there. She finds that a little odd. Why not just grab a taxi and head home? He replies, well, if you are that concerned about it, you could just offer me a spot to sleep. The girl knows exactly what he means by that. But here is the thing, she is starting to feel like if she pushes back too hard right now, she might actually lose the big prize. She grabs our boy by the shoulder, her heart visibly pounding at 75 beats per minute. She insists she is not the kind of woman who just brings men home. She is a decent girl, he just stares right back at her. He is genuinely a little confused, wondering why her affection levels suddenly shot up so high. Telling her to forget it, he asks where she lives. He will just call the cab himself. But now she completely changes her mind, saying she is not going home. He wants to know exactly where she plans to sleep then. She tells him to knock it off and stop acting like a total clown. Shrugging, he just says all right, and tosses her right into the car. Sitting inside, she is mentally begging the heavens for him to be gentle tonight, totally unlike those wild sounds she heard back at the cafe. Meanwhile, the old driver watching them through the rearview mirror is busy thinking about her curves, her face, those massive airbags. Man, the rich really do live differently. They finally pull up to the Grand Hyatt, easily the most luxurious hotel in town. Strangely enough, our boy says he wants to rent a massive suite for an entire month. Wait, what? Even Mangalu is totally confused. Why so long for just one night? He ignores her completely. The lady at the front desk says it costs 110,000. He swipes his card without a second thought. And of course, now that her affection is over 60, every single thing he spends gets tripled in return. So yeah, time to really start throwing money around. Upstairs in the hotel room, she stares out at the city view and says it is incredible. She feels a little guilty about stealing him from Mana, but somehow, her gut tells her that something amazing is coming from this guy. I have no idea what she is picturing right now, but our boy is already leaning in, smoothly asking if it is time to play some golf. Good grief, the artist is absolutely popping off tonight. She pushes back a bit, telling him it would be way better if he hit the shower first. He shakes his head, no, they can shower later. She nervously points at the wide-open curtains. He tells her not to worry. This glass is one way you can only see out, not in. And just like that, after 10 whole chapters, our guy finally storms the base. Next morning, he finally wakes up past noon. That was one crazy long night. He genuinely did not expect a daily gym rat like Meng Lu to end up this completely exhausted. The second he nudges her, she snaps, asking if he has lost his mind. They stayed up until 4 in the morning, so he really needs to rest. Meanwhile, she is lying there questioning reality. How did a daily athlete get totally wrecked by this skinny guy? Honestly, I cannot even defend this logic. Shen Yuan casually claims he was being gentle. Normally he goes all night, but he held back for her. He's even calling her Lulu now. She tells him to seriously cut it out. She just desperately needs a few more minutes of sleep. He chuckles, saying fine, he will let Coach Lee rest. Once she wakes up, she can pick out any car she wants under 3 million. Meng Lu bolts straight upright and demands he repeat that. This girl is absolutely shameless. She immediately declares that if he is buying her a car, she loves him to death. Weirdly enough, Shen Yuan suddenly starts wondering how Nana would react to getting a car too. The little devil Meng Lu quickly mentions a Porsche that costs just over 2 million. Would that be okay? He gives her an easy yes. Now she is thinking out loud, casually dropping how Nana previously mentioned wanting a Maserati, though those are super expensive. Shen Yuan perks right up. Nana wants a Maserati, Menglu nods, then pauses. Wait, is he actually planning to buy one for her? The guy does not beat around the bush at all. He bluntly admits he is pretty interested. Right then, Menglu realizes she is definitely not his number one, especially since a Maserati runs at least 5 million. Cut to her texting a friend on WhatsApp. The friend demands to know who took her to the Grand Hyatt last night. She proudly confirms a guy brought her there. And for some weird reason, she sends that specific cat emoji, the one biting down on a sandwich. Yeah, exactly the emoji you are picturing right now. Her friend asks for details, and she flatly replies, obviously, I slept with Shen Yuan. She claims her heart went soft and she just gave in. The friend immediately sees right through this dramatic act, like Shen Yuan somehow forced her hand. Because deep down, everyone knows Meng Lu wanted this from the very start. Watching yet another friend climb aboard this luxury yacht, the girl cannot help but wonder why she is the only unlucky one left behind. Back in the room, Shen Yuan gets dressed. He tells her to go pick out the car, send the details, and he will wire the cash. Their bond level just hit 16. He checks the system panel. A massive 90-point reward is right around the corner. Later in the car on speakerphone, Nana mentions she learned how to make some amazing coffee. When is he coming over to try it? He makes excuses, saying he is busy today, but as an apology, he plans to buy her a car. She immediately tries turning it down. He already gave her a house and a job, so this is completely unnecessary. But he answers smoothly, there is nothing wrong with spending on the woman I love, like she would actually say no to a gift. She cautiously accepts, but asks for something cheaper, maybe a simple Type B model. He casually insists the budget is at least 2 million, leaving her completely stunned. Then our boy pulls a total mastermind move. Right after dropping the car bombshell to throw her off guard, he slips the real news in. He casually mentions sleeping with Menglu last night, asking if that bothers her. Still reeling from the money, she admits that yes, of course it hurts. Still, she knows she cannot change him now. He quickly reassures her not to worry, there is a special place in his heart reserved only for her. The poor girl gets all choked up and emotional. Shen Yuan plays these mind games so hard, you almost have to feel bad for them. Even our guy is genuinely surprised by how deeply she cares, literally worrying about him spending too much cash. He promises to come back and spend the night with her, and she softly begs him to hurry. Now she is giggling and completely flustered, saying she needs to get back to work. The tables are turning fast, and Shen Yuan is honestly struggling to maintain his scumbag persona. He mutters to himself that being a jerk is way harder than it looks. And right on cue, guess who magically appears? Advisor Lu Shu, struggling with a massive stack of boxes. Naturally, our boy rushes over to help. He grabs the top box, which is apparently packed with bras, and they instantly fly out everywhere like they have wings. Shen Yuan's brain completely short-circuits. He just stands there frozen, wondering what it would be like if they were real. Flustered, she tells him to stop staring and help pick them up. Her sister finishes loading up the trunk, complaining that one trip is not enough, they will definitely have to make a few more runs. Lu hands over the address. On the drive there, she awkwardly apologizes for her sister, admitting she is pretty rude and clearly does not like him much. He tells her not to sweat it. Honestly, she seems way less cold today. Xiao explains her sister had this long-distance thing going for years, but one Christmas she surprised him and caught him cheating. Since then, she gave up on men entirely. Shen Yuan calls the guy absolute garbage. What kind of jerk actually does that? Xiao immediately fires back, what kind of man is he then? Strangely, he answers that he is a pure guy from the Great Lands. Why did he even say that? No idea. But even weirder, she totally just accepts it. He then asks what she thinks of him. Out of nowhere, her face turns totally red and she leans right in. Girl, what are you doing? Got an itch back there? Seems she finally processed what he said and tells him to repeat it. He plays it off as a joke, asking why she looks so flustered. She just sits there looking super awkward. This girl is honestly a bit weird too. Later, after hauling all the boxes upstairs, she offers him some water and snacks. And watch closely, here it comes. He tells her he would much rather see her appreciation a totally different way. She leans in fast, and obviously, he goes for the kiss. Good lord, he is going completely wild, straight up biting her neck. Meanwhile, her sister is already at the door yelling to open up, she forgot her key. Panicking, Xiao begs our guy to let go right now before her sister sees everything. The second that door swings open, the sister demands to know why her face is burning red. Did she just have a heart attack or what? Totally flustered, Xiao claims she just needs rest. Hauling boxes up those stairs is exhausting. Inside, she is deeply relieved her sister does not suspect a single thing. Then she completely kills the mood by bringing up school, reminding him about that project he is funding. She promises to contact him later. Standing at the door, he thanks her, says he will stop bothering them, and leaves. Obviously, he wanted to stick around, but with that annoying sister hovering right there, he has zero chance. The second he is gone, the sister asks exactly what she thinks of Shen Yuan. Xiao looks awkward, but the sister tells her to drop the act. Anyone could clearly see how he stared at her. That was definitely not just some innocent student and teacher vibe. Xiao lets a few details slip, admitting she does not really know how to explain the feeling. The sister points out she's obviously catching feelings. Surprisingly, though, she's actually being pretty supportive about the whole thing. Student status aside, he genuinely seems like a pretty solid guy. Still, she warns Xiao that he does not look like someone she can really depend on long term. Xiao admits she is not against him. Her sister just shrugs, hey, it is your life. She refuses to interfere, but tells Xiao to keep her eyes wide open. That boy does not exactly scream dependable material, but check out that little sideways glance she gives him. Honestly, I do not even know if it is the sister or Xiao catching feelings here. I am totally lost. An hour later at the campus cafe, this dude tries putting blush on her stomach, and the poor girl looks absolutely punched. She calls out for Shen Yuan. This is Fu Yingzi, she handles the university broadcasting stuff. Our boy finally shows up, apologizing for the wait. He mentions her voice sounds completely different from when they first spoke. She explains that is perfectly normal for a voice actress. Then she offers to help him get his new office all set up and sort out some details. He thanks her, adding that he actually has a few more requests. He asks if she can help handle everything for the room. Looking slightly unsure, she agrees anyway and asks what else he needs. Before he even answers, some random dude walks up holding a bag, says he brought her absolute favorite hot dog. Shen Yuan glances over like, who the hell is this weirdo? But looking at the guy, he figures it out fast. Yep, this guy thinks they are romantic rivals. Yingzi shuts him down instantly, stating she is dieting. The guy pushes back. He literally ran 5 kilometers and stood in line for 20 minutes just to buy this. But she just curses him out, demanding he leave. She does not want it. When he asks about Shen Yuan, she snaps that it is none of his business. Man, the poor dude leaves looking completely shattered. Honestly, I do not even know why he was here, just to get absolutely humiliated. Now look who is standing right in the middle of the cafe. The legendary Fang Manhua. She already spotted Yingzi sitting with Shen Yuan. Her friend whispers that since those two already went on 2 dates, it is pretty obvious his family is not actually broke anymore. With that, Minhui charges in, ready to expose how shameless this girl is. She walks up, planting kisses right on Shen Yuan. She clings tightly to him, asking if he is heading to class. He just awkwardly replies no. He explains he is discussing something with Yingzi, but Minhui holds on even tighter, totally scolding him for missing too many classes lately. How will he pass anything if he fails everything? Yingzi stands up. She knows perfectly well this girl only showed up to mark her territory. So, she tells Shen Yuan she has stuff to take care of, then immediately heads out first. He just stands there, totally unsure of what to do, waving goodbye. Meanwhile, every single student around them is completely stunned. An absolutely wild love triangle here, with 2 actual goddesses fighting over one single guy. Minhui seems a little on edge. She demands to know who that girl was and what they discussed, even though she already knows Yingzi pretty well. Her voice is incredibly sweet, but there is zero chance she lets a snake like that near her Shen Yuan. Our guy just tells her to relax and not worry about it. He says they were just talking about the entrepreneurship initiative the school is launching with him. Inside his own head, though, he realizes Hui is honestly way too possessive. How is she ever going to keep up with his wild lifestyle? Still, he smooths things over by saying he missed her, especially since it has been 2 days since they last saw each other. Sadly for him, she is class right now. But before leaving, she leans in, whispers something straight into his ear, and walks off with a flirty little goodbye. He just stands there, thinking to himself that this girl is a total menace. Right on cue, the queen of gold diggers herself calls him up. It is Minglu the Bold, bragging she already picked out the car he promised for only 2.5 million. On top of that huge bill, she asks if they are hitting the hotel tonight. Apparently, she has already picked out 2 very different outfits for him. When he asks what kind of outfits, she playfully teases that he will find out later. But Shen Yuan already locked in plans with Nana for tonight, and Hui invited him out too. Now our guy is completely torn between all these crazy options. Tough problem to have, right? Meanwhile, over at Li Xiao's place, her sister suddenly suggests cooking dinner and inviting him over to their apartment. Li Xiao looks totally puzzled, wondering why her sister is suddenly acting so supportive. Strangely enough, Li Meng does not seem entirely right in the head either. She claims there is something about his attitude that just makes her want to bite him. She admits she is obviously just inviting him over to test the guy's character. Li Xiao hesitantly agrees to the plan. She shoots him a text, saying her sister really appreciated all his help and wants him over for dinner. Shen Yuan reads the message and instantly wonders what kind of total mess this is becoming. Even a master of time manipulation would struggle to juggle this many women. He decides a man simply cannot bite every apple in the orchard, so tonight he is firmly turning down both Hui and Lu Menglu. Now he is at the door, walking and super casual. He thanks them, saying he will eat whatever they make. This is their home, after all. Looking around, he notices they only just moved in, but the whole apartment already looks surprisingly nice and tidy. He asks where her sister is, and she tells him she is still in the shower. But suddenly she spins around, telling him not to take another step closer. He is completely confused. What is the big deal? He just wants to help cook. She insists it does not matter and tells him to just go chill in the living room. He pushes his luck a little, claiming he really enjoys keeping someone company while they cook. She keeps backing away, saying he is already standing way too close. He smirks, replying that half a meter is already far too much distance. She demands to know what he is trying to do. He just steps in close, saying he is not trying anything at all. He leans in and whispers that her sister is in the bathroom and probably will not be out anytime soon. You know how long girls take. The tension spikes, and you already know exactly what is about to go down. She kisses him quickly, but she pulls away quickly, insisting she has to finish cooking dinner. Later at the table, he flatters her, saying even Gordon Ramsay would be jealous of a dish like this. But Li Meng completely cuts him off. She tells him to drop the flattery because she has a few serious questions for him. The sister asks exactly how many girlfriends he has had. He casually replies only 2. Why? Oh wait, she meant how many he used to have in the past, not how many he is juggling right now. For a second there, he seemed dangerously bold. He gives that specific answer because publicly, he only has his high school sweetheart and his ex-wife on record. Yeah, that damned one who walked out on him. Li Meng remarks that honestly, 2 is already quite a few, especially considering her own sister has never been with a single guy. She is heavily worried he might take advantage of Li Xiao. Meanwhile, our guy is just quietly disappointed she thinks 2 is a high number. She starts relentlessly grilling him. Does he have any sisters? Where exactly are his parents? She asks all sorts of things. 10 minutes later, he is completely drained from answering so much. At least he is convinced of one thing if she is asking all this. The sisters must have talked things out and reached some kind of mutual understanding. So, even though this feels like a brutal interrogation, it is actually a good sign. It means he is heading in the right direction. He lightly taps her shin under the table with his foot, and she instantly has a mini meltdown. She totally panics, wondering what would happen if her sister caught them doing something sneaky like that. Right then, Li Xiao jumps up, claiming she has dishes to wash and chores to finish. Watching her, Li Meng immediately notices something is completely off. She knows her sister really likes Shen Yuan, so why is she acting so stiff and awkward? Breaking the tension, she asks if he wants to stay longer. But Shen Yuan stands up and says no, he has other business to handle. The truth is, if nothing else is happening on this battlefield, it is time to tackle his next mission. 10 minutes after he leaves, Li Meng demands to know why her sister did not ask him anything or even try to confront him. Li Xiao thinks back on all his wild stunts and admits he really does seem more mature than the average guy. They are not even dating yet, and he acts like this so dangerous. Meanwhile, Shen Yuan is totally fired up. He shows up at Nana's place, grabs her immediately. She is just standing there, trying to figure out the crazy rush. He tells her to guess while digging through her stuff. Does she still have that old uniform? Next scene. Wearing it now, she asks why on earth he made her dress up. Someday you will understand, he says, then attacks. Her affection meter sits safely at 90. Smooth sailing. Crossing 50 unlocks the very next girl anyway. He gets a choice. Boost a random stat like height, or take $5 million to spend however he wants, or pick up a special skill. But honestly, this guy only has eyes for the one ability absolutely everyone envies. The legendary card, the ultimate buff you cannot find anywhere else on the planet. Bad news for Nana. She is the very first to feel the effects. What happens, happens. Nana just lies there in total silence. The poor girl mentions something felt different this time. He asks why. I do not know, she says, just different. He looks back at her with sparkling eyes. She must really be falling for him. He cannot even imagine the insane reward for hitting a perfect 100 affection score. He scores another card, though, taking basic combat. Because even in a legal society, walking around with this many girls means you never know when someone might attack. On the flip side, he also picks up a repair ability. Maybe someday someone needs help, and he can swoop in. My God. The guy is literally still in bed but already planning his next fight. Eyes blazing with pure determination. He honestly believes fixing the world is the smarter move. Right then, Nana gets a sudden call. Her dad had a heart attack. They desperately need cash. He asks what is wrong, wondering if she needs to go back. Not tonight, she replies. It is way too late, but she will head over first thing in the morning. She knows Shen Yuan cares, but since they are not officially a couple yet, she really cannot ask him to tag along. She tells him it is fine. She will just go by herself tomorrow. Apparently, he is letting her. But he tells her to just message him if she needs money and he will handle it. Next morning, he wakes up. He sees she actually left fresh coffee for him on the table. As usual, his morning alarm is a video call. It is Nangzi, showing him his spot at school is completely ready. It only happened this fast because she forced those poor suckers. Her desperate fans did all the heavy lifting for free. One finishes up and immediately asks if she needs anything else. She straight up tells him to get lost. He tries insisting on helping the student council, but she tells him to keep walking. The poor guy just stands there crying. Word is he has been trying his luck for 3 whole years. Then out of nowhere, Shen Yuan shows up, and she instantly turns freezing cold. The funny thing is, she's falling for him, because she knows that little school setup is basically an endless money pit. If Shen Yuan casually dropped 10 million there, it means he genuinely does not care about cash. My God, she is daydreaming about being his secretary, hands all over her. Zero normal women in this story. Seriously. But yeah, she's thinking exactly that. Even if she cannot be his girlfriend, she would make a fantastic secretary. Now she just has to prove how highly skilled she is. Sure thing, whatever you say. We cut to Nana arriving at her parents' place, immediately asking where her dad is. She thought he was hospitalized. Why are they at a restaurant? Her mom waves her inside. It is a total setup. Her mom claims they did not mean to trick her, but she is 27 now and still completely single. So they brought in a young family friend to help out. His mom happily introduces the guy as Don Hao. She invites Nana to have drinks tonight, promising they will get along perfectly, then casually brags about her son owning a company. He supposedly pulls in over 10 million a year, drives a nice car, owns a house. He tells his mom not to exaggerate. He says he just customized a BMW Series 5. Nothing crazy. Watch closely, guys. This poor dude is facing an impossible opponent. Nana admits that is not bad at all, congratulating him. Suddenly, the guy pulls out a ring. Thankfully, not for her. He hands it to her mom instead, calling it a little gift for Auntie. Her mom is thrilled. The other mom is soaring. She brags he would make the perfect son-in-law. Her dad chats with him, while Nana pulls her mom into the bedroom for a quick talk. Her mom scolds her for acting so secretive around their house guests. But Nana demands to know why they tricked her into a blind date without once caring about her own feelings on it. Her mom tells her to think things through, pointing out the younger girl upstairs already has 2 entire kids. Wait a minute. Since when is popping out kids the absolute only benchmark for a woman's success? That is not just old-fashioned, it is full-on sexist. Honestly, her mom is the real problem here. Nana feels so exhausted she just drops the argument entirely. There is literally no point. She messages Shen Yuan with all the details, and he instantly replies that he is on his way. She freezes up. Why is he suddenly coming over? What exactly is this guy planning? She pivots back to her mom all cheerful now and announces a friend is visiting. Her mom demands to know if it is a guy or a girl. Nana just smirks. She will find out soon enough. They just keep sipping their drinks. A few awkward minutes pass, and then our guy suddenly shows up loaded down with shopping bags. Shen Yuan walks right in and introduces himself as her boyfriend. An absolute legend. And of course, he brought a massive pile of gifts. Meanwhile, the other dude is just standing there holding a baby-sized wine glass. What even is that thing? It literally looks like a bottle cap. Her parents, especially that bowling ball-headed dad of hers, are completely lost. Who is this absolute madman claiming to be her boyfriend? They have never heard a single thing about him. But Shen just brushes it off. He gestures to the huge mountain of presents and tells them to drop the formalities. From now on, they are all family. The parents, you can literally see the gold reflecting in their wide eyes. They ask how much all this stuff costs, and he just plays it cool. Oh, nothing big, just a like on this video. Dropping a like helps Mamoru make even more juicy content for everyone watching.